Milestone penonton. Jangan lupa untuk undi ganjaran yang anda mahukan.
Jumpa anda di next episode.
But Cobra will die to blue zone as Blacklist gets knocked out. Team Princess on the ground. It's 2 versus 1.
Continue this fight. There's just no stepping forward. Devora now continuing against Icon. Yun on the ground. Neki shuts down Man. And it looks like it's going to be all over for Icon. But as I say that, Mio out of nowhere drops Tim Queez. Expert, they shut down Man 04 already, and now Exec with a lot of pressure. They are out in the open, but we have to also remember the edge of the current zone held on by Secret Expert. They need to move on now to the center of this circle. Nade coming flying through. Oh!
Where he was. He finds a grenade. And Icon, I don't think had any idea.
Oh,
the
nice
grenade. What a sniper with these grenades. Emax brings him up with the second one, and he runs away, realizing he's got a huge advantage. It's going to be 3-on-3, and he puts himself back into a somewhat sizable advantage.
That's Eman GG right there, and Eman once again getting it all done. New Boys this time knocked down Eman. Oh, hero Eman GG, the one guy gets pushed back. Neptune now aggressive. Oh, what a spot held on by Eman, but Neptune, the shotgun turns around. 2 shots, too easy. Vanix down as well. Neptune getting a lot done in here. Looks for Rizal. Is he going to get the third one? Does not get the knock. Smart plays coming out from his opponent. They back away. Vanix doesn't find one inside the time turner. 2 fast knockdown Rizal. Neptune gets the last one. What a play!
Start to do some damage. Epic are starting to make their way. Now they got the grenades primed. That should be end. No, he's doing on top of the roof. My friend, Zigga, that was not the greatest throw.
We got that on camera, Zigga. We got that. There's no running away from that one.
Masing-masing masih lagi belum mengalah dalam permainan kita. Kedua-dua pasukan berusaha untuk mendapatkan kemenangan. Siapakah di antara mereka peserta ataupun Mr. Wega yang akan mengundangi cabaran kali ini?
Anda sedang menonton rancangan permainan Free Fire Challengers Malaysia dan kami host anda, my name is Mustachio AJ bersama dengan Haji Yat, dan untuk menggemburkan episod kepada kali ini kita ada pasukan B iaitu Geek Fam yang akan berlawan dengan Encik Wega. Jangan lupa untuk mengundi salah satu daripada 5 ganjaran milestone penonton yang bakal anda terima sekiranya para pemain menang.
Untuk kedudukan sekarang ini, Mr. Wega ketinggalan 10 mata di belakang para peserta kita. Pasukan Blacklist berusaha keras nak menang untuk round yang ketiga ini sebenarnya. Apakah perasaan Mr. Wega kita ketika ini? Mr. Wega, silakan. Saya rasa saya boleh baca apa yang dikatakan oleh Mr. Wega tu.
Man of very few words, Haji.
Ya.
Pihak lawan dia hari ni agak bersemangat juga.
Pandai.
Cabaran bagi episod ini adalah The Epic Airdrop. Airdrop amat berharga tetapi sukar diperolehi. Sambut bola oren untuk mengumpul satu mata dan elak bola putih yang akan menyebabkan satu mata ditolak.
Pasukan Geek Fam akan menentang Mr. Wagger dengan tangannya diikat.
Let the game begin.
Round 1.
Yes! Oh, jauh je.
The teamwork is absolutely solid, Haji. Mereka sedang mencuba.
Hampir di situ.
Tangkapan bola yang amat bagus tetapi...
Baru satu saja. Hampir. Semuanya almost. Okay, two.
Okay, 2, 3.
Tiga. Dua. Satu.
Haji. Apa ni, Haji? Terlalu senang pula.
24 mata kedudukan ketika ini semakin jauh meninggalkan Mr. Wagger. Tengok macam kurang meyakinkan apapun kita cakapkan. Good luck lah untuk Mr. Wagger.
Absolutely
Kali
good
ini
luck.
giliran dia. 1, 2, 3. Aduh, Mr. Wagger. Tunggu, Mr. Wagger.
Haji, this is amazing. How is this penguin getting it done? Double action, Mr. Wagger with the blue hat swagger.
3, 2, 1.
Airdrop specialist. Oh my good, Haji.
Ya.
Ni, 1, 2,
Wow.
3.
Wow.
Oh my god, 4,
Wow.
5, 6. Apa ni? Solo versus duo pun Mr. Wagger confirm menang.
So menjadikan 16 mata buat Mr. Wagger. Kembali bersama Wheel of Misfortune.
Dan untuk memusing roda musibah kita, kita ada ejen Ali daripada Blacklist International.
Yeah.
Alright. Ali tadi dah kena kan? If you're ready, please. Musibah besar. Musibah yang amat besar. Alright.
Nice choice, Ali. Nice
Perfect
choice.
punishment, Ali. Thank you very much, sir. We will call you back in a bit. Okey, musibah yang amat besar, tuan-tuan dan puan-puan. Kerana belon dia pun agak besar sikit, Haji.
Ya, dan airnya pun akan ditambah.
Ah.
So, kalau kena, kepala dia mungkin boleh pecah dan mereka akan masak kuyup.
Alright, boys.
Alright, I'm ready.
Boys, you ready, yeah?
Okay.
Alright,
Whoa.
opportunity. Oh, and the battle rages on. Oh, King manages to get one, tetapi tolak satu markah hijau.
Dia tangkap bola air.
bola putih.
Lima. Oh, dapatnya Akik on fire.
Absolutely,
Oh.
Akik on fire. Tetapi terkena juga air.
Yang terkena juga ayah. Elok tu handsome sikit. So, kita akan tambah mata mereka 5 lagi.
Alright.
Menjadikan 29. Mr. Wagger, adakah anda dah bersedia?
Woo!
Wow. 1, 2, 3.
What is he doing?
He's beginning to believe.
I know Kung Fu.
Show me.
Four, 3, 2, 1.
My mind is blown, Haji. Macam mana?
Same with me here. My mind so blown here sini.
King of airdrops, Mr.
Ada
Wagger.
lagi 9.
Oh my lord, ada lagi.
9 mata menjadikan 25. 9 balloon yang berjaya diperoleh oleh Mr. Wagger kita untuk round yang kedua ini.
Mr. Wagger, do you have a few words to say, Mr. What
Yeah.
words of a champion? I couldn't have said it better myself, man. Oh my lord. Pusingan yang ketiga dengan double danger in terms of our roda musibah. Kali ini kita ada ijat daripada Blacklist International. Dipersilakan. Roda musibah, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Let's go. Musibah besar, musibah besar, musibah besar, musibah besar.
Wah, yang paling besar dan juga paling comel, ladies
Yep.
and gentlemen, boys and girls, adalah distraction oleh the one and only Mr. Wagger.
Yes, betul tu.
Dan
So,
Mr. Wagger ada seorang penolong.
ada
Ha, siapa dia?
Mr. Wagger tu.
Mr. Wagger. Mr. Wagger the second. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I present to you adik Mr. Wagger, Pak Haji.
Round 3.
1, 2. He's arcing with the first ball. Are we gonna Mr. Wagger helping in here as well? Oh! Bola putih to arcing space. Arcing with the opportunity. But water balloon. Mr. Wagger comes in here for the distraction. Japun tak mampu nak tangkap. Are they going to be able? Mr. Wagger. Lemparan yang amat baik. The water balloon from up above. The gods of the water balloon are making sure Arcing does not get anything. 3, 2. What a play. What a distraction.
Mission complete. Mission complete.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls,
Oh.
daripada the first 2 rounds, dia dapat 1.
Satu saja. Di sini satu. So, 2 sahaja yang berjaya diperoleh oleh pasukan.
31.
Ya.
Alright, there you go. Final round. This
Yeah.
time untuk Encik Wagger, ya.
Dia tak sabar lagi untuk memulakan round yang ketiga ini. 1, 2, 3.
Oh, what?
Whoa.
The first one, Haji, insane stuff. Oh, he misses it. Okay, tandukkan dia dancing sikit. Ada slide. Oh my lord.
Dia dancing, dia dapat.
Oh, setiap
Dancing
kali dia
dia dapat.
menari baru dia dapat, Haji.
Ya, dia kena
That
teruskan
is his power.
dancing. Sikit lagi dia kena teruskan dancingnya itu. Ini merisaukan kita sekarang ni kerana...
Oh, the white ball.
3, 2, 1.
Mr. Wagger, what a play.
Wow, apa kata kita mulakan kiraan kita. 1,
Ah,
2,
we need 6.
3,
Yeah.
4,
Yeah, boy. Mr. Wagger. Mr. Wagger.
5. Unfortunately, 5 saja yang berjaya diperoleh oleh Mr. Wagger. So close to beat. Oh, nampaknya Mr.
Nampaknya
Aduh.
King of Airdrop telah
Ya.
ditewaskan. Mereka nak kongsi 1 point tapi tak boleh. Haji.
Mr. Wagger cakap tunggu game yang ketiga.
Memang hari ni Mr. Wagger dah tunjukkan kepada kita macam mana nak conquer airdrop, Haji.
Dia nampak konsisten pada hari ini tapi poin dia 1 mata saja lagi untuk mengatasi barisan player kita. Sayang sekali buat Mr. Wagger. So jangan lupa untuk meneruskan tontonan kita kerana kita ada lagi game yang ketiga.
Tonton pusingan akhir pada 5 Februari dan nantikan ganjaran milestone penonton. Jangan lupa untuk undi ganjaran yang anda mahukan.
Jumpa anda di next episode.
But Cobra will die to the blue zone as Blacklist gets knocked out. Team Princess on the ground. It's 2 versus 1.
Continue this fight. There's just no stepping forward. The Devora now continuing against Icon. Yun on the ground. Neki shuts down Man. And it looks like it's going to be all over for Icon. But as I say that, Mio out of nowhere drops Tim Queen. Expert, they shut down Man 04 already, and now Exec with a lot of pressure. They are out in the open, but we have to also remember the edge of the current zone held on by Secret Expert. They need to move on now to the center of this circle. Nade coming flying through. Oh!
Who where he was. He fired the grenade. And Icon, I don't think had any idea.
Oh,
Oh, the
nice.
nice grenade. What a sniper with these grenades. Emax cleans him up with the second one, and he runs away, realizing he's got a huge advantage. It's going to be 3-on-3, and he puts himself back into a somewhat sizable advantage.
That's Eman GG right there, and Eman once again getting it all done. New boys this time knocked down Eman. Oh, hero Eman GG, the one guy he gets pushed back. Neptune now aggressive. Oh, what a spot held on by Eman, but Neptune, the shotgun turns around. 2 shots, too easy. Vanix down as well. Neptune getting a lot done in here. Looks for Rizal. Is he going to get the third one? Does not get the knock. Smart plays coming out from his opponent. They back away. Vanix doesn't find one inside the time turner. Too fast knockdown Rizal. Neptune gets the last one. What a play.
Start to do some damage. Epic are starting to make their way. Now they got the grenades primed. That should be end. No, he's doing it on top of the roof. My friend, Zigga, that was not the greatest throw. We got that on camera, Zigga.
What is up, everyone, and welcome back to the Free Fire Challengers Malaysia Season 1. Today is a very special day, not just for us, but also the players. It's the final play day of the league stage, and it's a very important day because if you don't put your foot into that barrel, I don't think you're going to get in there at all, because we're going to find out our top 12 teams that are going to be heading into the grand final. My name is Danielle, and of course joining me is the wonderful Husky. We had a lot of fun yesterday, Husky, and I think today we're going to have even more fun with these matches.
Yeah, and of course the race for the 12th place continues. We saw the teams, Metrics being the one who has a pretty firm grip on the 12th spot, but they can still be overtaken by the likes of No Escape Umbrella, who was able to crawl into 13th spot yesterday. GeekFam showing dominance as always with 2 back-to-back booyahs and hitting that 400 point mark on the leaderboard, followed by Todak in second. And we also saw teams like Freedom Rumble kind of exhibiting their old habits of having that up and down dice roll sort of round. Blacklist International also not really having the greatest of days. So I think today's focus would be more on who makes it into that 12th spot, and in the fight for like 3rd to 8th place, more for the prize money at this point.
Yeah. Now, speaking of prize money, let's take a look very quickly at what these teams are currently playing for, because we've got two stages to the Challenger series. We're currently in the first stage, which is the league stage. Now, the ultimate goal for these teams is to make it to top 12, but they are still going to be getting some money depending on where they place in the league stage. So if you're able to manage first place, which looks like is going to be where GeekFam is going to be ending the league stage, it's going to be 7,500 ringgit for them. Second place will get 5,000 ringgit. Third place will get 2,500. Fourth will get 2,000. Same with fifth. Sixth will get 1,500. Seventh will get 1,250. Similar to eighth. Ninth until 12th. I don't know why I wanted to say 11 there. 9th to 12th is going to get 1,000 ringgit. 12th to 13th will get 7. Nope, I can't count for some reason, Husky. We got 750 ringgit going to 13 and 14, and then 14 and 15 is going. I can't count, Husky. I think you're gonna do this for me. Yeah. Wow,
15 and 16 they will get 500 ringgit, and of course 17 and 18. The bottom two gets 250. I got you, no problem.
My coffee hasn't kicked in yet, but I know one thing we're gonna be really excited for, and it's gonna be the grand final prize pool, right? Like, this is where the big money is at. We've said this yesterday, and we cannot reiterate this as much as we can, because looking at first place, right, like 45,000 ringgit, that's a lot of money for these teams, and this is what everyone is competing for, that 45,000 ringgit prize pool. Second place gets 20,000, which is okay, but if anything, you really want to aim for first place.
Yeah. Your caffeine is going to kick in just in time for the first game to start. But we kind of talked about this yesterday. You can be in 12th spot by the end of the league stage, but if you get first place in the grand finals, you essentially have overshadow everyone with the grand prize pool that you are gonna walk away. But there is a piece of the pie for everyone. It just comes down to how big of a piece you're going to walk away depending on where you end up. Even for 11th and 12th place, these teams will still get a minimum of 500 ringgit at the end of the day. So not all is lost, but of course the 45,000 is the juiciest piece of all.
Yeah, that's the ultimate prize. And these teams, I'm really curious to know with how some of these teams are sort of approaching the league stage, right? Because it's absolutely viable for a team to just say, okay, we're just going to make it to top 12. We're going to really show our cards during the grand finals. And then you have other teams where it's just like, we'll play our best and we'll see how it goes. Speaking of playing best, though, here's our point system. The teams are competing for points for today, and these points it's what's going to determine their placement on the leaderboard at the end of the day. So if you get the Booyah in first place, you get 12 points. Second will get 9. Third will get 8. Fourth will get 7. Fifth will get 6. Sixth will get 5. Seventh will get 4. Eighth will get 3. Ninth will get 2. 10th will get a single point. And then unfortunately for teams that end up in 11th and 12th, you're going to end up with absolutely no points at all. Now, on top of the placement points, Husky, we always have our kill point system. 1 kill is going to equate to 1 point.
Yeah, and yesterday we saw Geek Fam being able to score 28 points in total after
Yes.
in one of their rounds. I believe it was match number 3. They got a booyah and 16 kills to boot. That was super impressive. And they also are the current record holder of the highest amount of points accumulated in one round. It's around 32 or 34 points, if I'm not mistaken, during the first week of the group stage. And speaking of that, this would be the groupings for the final day. We did went through a group shuffle in the middle of the group stage. So for Group A, now we have Blacklist International, Freedom Rumble, Icon, No Escape Umbrella, Sorry Roar, Todak. For Group B, it's Devora, EWG, Geek Fam, New Gank, Secret Expert, and Team Princess. And to round out the rest of the roster, for Group C, we have Duo Barade, AKO Steady Squad, Epic, Hero, Metrics, and MND Diehard.
So just looking at the groups, we already know that which groups are going to be the heavy hitters. I think if anything, Husky, I think we both agreed that A and B have a lot of heavy hitters in those two groups, and then you sort of just have this Group C lingering on the outskirts.
Yeah.
And the unfortunate thing with the group so far is that we really haven't seen anyone step out and just be a major player on the leaderboard.
Aside from Geek Fam and Todak, I think everyone else is kind of playing at the same level. I think Blacklist International can also be considered one of the top contenders. Obviously, the points that we see on the overall leaderboard doesn't completely reflect Blacklist International's performance. They had a bit of an issue, a week ago, so that was kind of on them. But overall, the 3 teams that I would say are in a very good shape are definitely Geek Fam, Todak, and Blacklist International. And I would go as far as to say the most consistent group is definitely Group B. We saw the likes of Geek Fam, Secret Expert, and Team Princess. 3 out of the 6 teams in Group B have been putting up impressive numbers. And currently, 2 of them are in top 5. Geek Fam in first place and Team Princess in 4th. Secret Expert not too far away as well, as they are currently sitting in 7th spot. Group C is the most worrying one. In the top 12, there's only 3 teams from Group C. The best one being Epic, placed in 8th place, and of course AKO Steady Squad and Metrics in 10th and 12th place respectively.
Yeah, so we'll have to see if these teams are going to be able to at least confirm their placements. I think in particular we're sort of still looking at Metrics, and even AKO Steady Squad. They might be, if their performance doesn't pick up today, I'm also worried that they could be losing their position as well. But before anything, very quickly, we're going to take a look at the maps that's going to be played today. Now, no more Kalahari. We had a lot of this happening yesterday and the week beforehand. So, hello, Purgatory and Bermuda. Now, to kick things off, we're going to be starting with Groups A versus B on Purgatory, followed by Bermuda. Then we'll be jumping into B versus C on Purgatory and Bermuda. And then finally, A versus C on Purgatory and Bermuda. So no desert maps today for us, Husky. It's going to be all clear skies and green rolling hills.
And I am super excited for this map rotation, especially when we will be ending the final round on Bermuda. Normally, if memory serves, we always end it with Purgatory, but now a bit of a change in how the maps are lined up definitely will shake things up a bit. We know that Geek Fam and Blacklist International are 2 teams who are very proficient, especially Geek Fam. You put them on Bermuda and Purgatory, they will always shine. They also have some moments of brilliance on Kalahari, but Bermuda is where Geek Fam is the deadliest. And they are also, coincidentally, one of the teams to watch. Alongside them would be No Escape Umbrella and Metrics. Metrics currently in 12th place, and No Escape Umbrella now is racing to overtake Metrics. And both these teams have mediocre games yesterday, but No Escape Umbrella was able to overtake Duo Barade with 1 booyah to close off the evening. And Metrics, they also have their own tricks up their sleeves. They've been hunting down Duo Barade the entirety of yesterday. Let's see if today will be the same.
I'm still at a loss of what happened yesterday with Metrics, to be honest. Like, this Metrics and Duo Barade rivalry, I think I said this yesterday, right? It's like, I was convinced that it's Metrics, but I really want to know. I want somebody to just tell me up front, like, who is it that is making these calls? Like, it can't be coincidence, right? Because clearly it seems like this is premeditated.
Yeah, it definitely feels so, right? We got to see the drop spots, we got to see the 2 teams always overlapping, but we haven't caught a glimpse of how the full flight path is like, as in from the beginning until the very end of the teams, of the sequence of them dropping and parachuting onto the map. So hopefully if we get a glimpse of that, maybe we can make a better judgment. So far it seems like these two teams bumping heads. It's 3-1 in favor of Metrics, and even the ones that Dua Barade was able to win, they got 3 kills instead of 4, and they did lose 2 members in the process. So not the best of trades, whereas for Metrics it has always been a clean wipe. So if today goes down the same route, it might just be the nail in the coffin to really stop No Escape Umbrella from catching up, because Metrics will be getting 3 points every single round. So my wish is that Dua Barade give Metrics a taste of their own medicine and not let them kind of run over them with those hot drops, because if you punish Metrics a round or two, that will really make them reconsider whether they want to pursue down this path again.
Actually, I'm sitting here and I'm just thinking, right? So, assuming we're gonna have this rivalry that's gonna be happening, do you think another team might try and capitalize on this, and we're actually gonna get like a 3-team hot drop? I could absolutely see an aggressive team such as GeekFam just sort of being like, "Hey guys, we're gonna join in too."
That could be a possibility. I think, for GeekFam, they don't really have too much to lose. They are very far ahead of the competition. In fact, they are 48 points ahead of the second place team, which is Todak. So we will see if Dua Barade runs into Metrics, but of course that is not going to be in the first 2 matches, since Dua Barade will be stuck in Group C. We will see them later on, as now we focus on Group A versus Group B, the 2 heavy hitters dropping onto Purgatory for our very first round.
Oh, it's really exciting, Husky. So we'll see if we're going to be seeing any shenanigans, if we might be seeing some teams drop on top of each other, which so far... Oh, alright, Husky. I think we already have a couple teams actually trying to go head-to-head here. Team Princess dropping right next to EWG. Are we looking at any other potential teams? Not really. Although I have to say, Secret Expert really ballsy and actually spreading out for our first map today.
I think the most interesting part is that the teams at the bottom of the leaderboard mostly are in Group C, so we won't see like those Hail Mary drops. Maybe not for Team Princess though, because like you mentioned earlier on, they did drop in the same spot as EWG, and with already one of the members from EWG getting knocked, Team Princess should be going for the extra kill. So they've already bagged the first point, courtesy of Jimmy Neo. Alpha XR finds JZ, and Monito now hiding behind the shack as the rest of his team get absolutely demolished. That should be Team Princess with 3 quick kills, and it's about to be a full team wipe. Monito does swing the corner to get a knock on the Aegis. Sir, he needs to secure that, and at least he will. Just do a bit of damage to Team Princess's lineup, making sure that they don't walk away from this unscathed, but Monito knows that his time is pretty much limited in this round. Only less than 2 minutes in, and EWG have already met their maker. And Monito, she doesn't have too much ammunition to work with, and Team Princess are just taking their time to clean him up.
Oh, but to be honest though, Monito did a lot of damage to Team Princess. And especially one of the disadvantages of hot dropping right on top of another team, right, is that you're not going to be guaranteed a solid inventory of items, right? Like, you're not going to be guaranteed a gun, a health kit, a grenade, even glue walls, right? So there's a lot of things that aren't guaranteed. And I think Ija in particular, like, he completely was not expecting Monito to be there, because did you see how he sort of like snapped his camera when he realized like, oh god, there's another guy here, and he just wasn't able to get the shots in to eliminate Monito. I mean, it kind of sucks for Team Princess, but this is sort of something that can potentially happen when you decide to go for these really ballsy drops.
Yeah, and it's slightly unfortunate for EWG as well, because they are now currently sitting in 11th place. Not really the safest spot to be in. They have Metrics, who is 10 points behind them, and they started off round 1 with only 1 point. That's not really the most convincing of openings for a team like EWG, which, to be fair, every team only has 4 rounds left. So there is a chance that EWG gets ruined because of Team Princess kind of taking away that 1 round. But we'll see if they can make it up in the next few rounds. For Team Princess though, they will at least secure those easy points for themselves, which puts them slightly closer to Freedom Rumble on that overall leaderboard. On Fire Brigade, we see Todak, who yesterday hasn't really had the best of rounds. Their best result was 2nd place, and that's pretty much it. They are struggling to catch up to Geek Fam. They are 48 points away, and they should be able to get closer if Geek Fam have absolutely horrendous rounds. But knowing Geek Fam, if they are in a position of power, they would probably play a bit more passive and just go for those placement points. And so far, we haven't heard any word from our ringleaders, and we'll just see if Freedom Rumble will be able to take on this fight against Icon.
It looks like they might be able to, but I'm wondering who is going to be the aggressor. Does Icon know? You can see they're
Freedom Rumble
hesitant.
certainly does. See the backpack of Neos, and too fast. There you go. Swings the corner. A couple of pumps should do the job. They flush out one of the members from Icon. That's going to be Neo running in and out of a ski lodge, but unfortunately he still goes down thanks to X Spot with the suppressive fire, with the support fire from the side of Freedom Rumble, and the rest of Freedom Rumble will now go into the ski lodge, which only has a one entrance to clean up the rest of Icon. That will be 2 down. New Boys does down X Spot with a well-placed landmine, but that's pretty much it. They will not be able to do any more damage. Yun tries to go for a cleanup, but the only thing that's going to get cleaned up is the rest of Icon. Freedom Rumble finds themselves 4 quick kills in the beginning of the round to kind of send a message of they are still one of the most aggressive teams around.
That's actually a really good opening for Freedom Rumble as well. If you're able to secure 4 kills at the very beginning of the game, and you're able to keep all 4 members of your team alive, that is just going to be such a good momentum boost for the team. And on top of that, you're guaranteed 4 points already. Now, just looking at where the next circle is going to be, it looks like it might be a center circle so far. And we are looking at a lot of teams that might be running into each other. We've got Sorry Raw actually running in towards Secret Expert, Blacklist International is nearby, and so is Devora. And Geek Fam is actually looking to make their way across the bridge, which is also going to put them in range of Blacklist. So Husky, we're looking at a lot of conflict that's going to be happening very soon.
Yeah, and for a map like Purgatory, it is slightly rarer to see teams.
Oh, it's very rare.
Yeah, it's very rare, right? It's such
a
huge
big map. Yeah.
And I think one of the most interesting development is Blacklist International. At one point, their favorite drop spot is Moat House, but they have grew away from that. Now they no longer drop Moat House. They make sure that they take control of Brasilia so that they can get those extra resources. There is a scout from Blacklist who might make contact with the members of Devora, but the rest of his team is nearby. So for Blacklist International, any form of information would be pivotal, considering that they are the center point of the entire safe zone as of now. Devora are still pretty much oblivious to the presence of Blacklist, and you can see that Cobra does have the sniper rifle in his hands. So if Devora pops their head up, they might catch a bullet in the head.
Yeah, we'll see what happens first, but typical Cobra and Miral. I swear these guys are just able to see everything. But Blacklist have this house surrounded. I mean, look at the map. They're all actually looking to actually block in Devora. I wonder who's going to make the first move, though. I know Miral normally runs in for Blacklist, but what's the play here? Are they actually just going to try and overrun Devora? Because remember, right, these teams don't have any information on who they're actually fighting against until they see someone get downed in the kill feed.
And Devora, they are also being pretty patient. They're not making much moves. They are staying inside their compound. But Blacklist, they will pull the trigger. They have confirmed that intel. And of course, you have Cobra leading the charge. And he is one of the guys that can easily take on these fights. If Geek Fam has Mano for Blacklist International has Cobra. Phoenix does get tagged ever so slightly by the nade, but he will be able to do some damage in return as well, as Devora now will be sent into a state of panic. Cobra running around and flanking from behind. Miro is already in the building, and I don't think Devora expected that. Neki will be down. There is a glue up being put up by Devora. They want to go for the revive, but Blacklist International were just way too fast. Phoenix gets a nade onto Jim Quest. Cyber gets down as well. Neki bleeds to death, and Devora gets annihilated in their own building. Blacklist International finds 4 kills.
I wasn't really surprised. I was expecting these 4 kills to potentially go on the way of Blacklist. But it looks like another team is in the building, or at least they're going to be in the building very soon, Husky. I think they heard the commotion, and we know how hungry Geek Fam are when it comes to kills, so I think we're going to be seeing a massive fight here of 2 Titan teams.
And for Blacklist International, it is certainly more crucial to win this fight if they go up against Geek Fam. For Geek Fam, it's more for the bragging rights and making sure that they walk away with that juicy 7,500 ringgit prize pool by the end of today. But with how these 2 teams are moving, I think you're right, Danny. They are going to run into each other. The question is, who will pull the trigger first? Knowing Blacks International, now that they have Geek Fam on their radar, they should be beelining straight towards Geek Fam, and that danger zone feels like it's God sent. It's a sign that Blacklist International needs to take this fight, and Geek Fam, they are in prime position to take on Blacklist.
Oh boy, this is going to be a massive fight, Husky. Now, we do need to remember, right, these two teams, they're already guaranteed.
My God.
Whoa!
Wow.
Never mind, we're going to switch fights real quick.
And we saw Taken with a massive flick. Wasn't able to get a knock, but it certainly caught New Gang off guard. That will force New Gang on foot. Fakaji now will be the first point of contact with a UMP in hand, a couple of nades, really making life for New Gang super hard. They only have one building to work with, but Secret Expert, they already have control of that structure. If no, again, go for the swing, let's run into two crosshairs at once, but his buddies are there to back him up with those blue walls. And New Gang will all equip for their shotgun and at least get a trade through. Ngada's get knocked down, and Zipnu will immediately come in to act as the backup, but unfortunately, Nga will not survive. For New Gang though, they ended up losing Big Nine and Kenzie at the same time, so Secret Experts do get the better end of the deal, but they haven't cleaned up New Gang just yet. Taken will be the next one to go. Fakaji is the third, but New Gang ends up falling nonetheless. Secret Expert trades 1, but they get 4. Meanwhile, Geek Fam will run into Blacklist International, and this is the fight of the Titans that we've been looking for. And Orin will be gunned down by Cobra, but you can see that Exec from afar does snipe the head of Ali. So we have Geek Fam and Blacklist playing on a 3 versus 3, and it quickly goes south for Blacklist International because Fikri and Mano4 will pull their weight, and unfortunately for Blacklist International, the fight is done and dusted. Orin is not even dead. Exec will be taken down. Cobra do the rest of the job for his team, but he doesn't have much help to work with there. Glua will buy a bit of time, but Mano4 and the rest of his buddies are ready. They swing the corner, they corral Cobra, and it only takes a matter of time to get this snake in the bag. Blacklist International out in 8th place, and Geek Fam finds 4.
Oh, was expecting this to happen, and oh my goodness, Geek Fam able to come out on top. I actually forgot to mention over the past couple days and even last week as well, we've actually seen shotguns do a lot of work for Geek Fam, right? Like we always hear, normally as casters we talk about a lot of the other guns, we talk about more of the range combat, hang on, we'll have to stop here first because it looks like we're gonna get a drop here, a kill for Todak potentially. Oh no, that's happening on the other side of the map. They almost got it, but Freedom Rumble, they really want this pick off, but look who is nearby. It's Todak.
Yeah, I mean, Todak interrupted the hunting regime of Freedom Rumble, and of course they have to pay for it, right? If you want to barge into someone else's territory and take their prey away, they gotta pay a price, and I think Freedom Rumble is trying to make Todak work for it, and they did down Pedro, and he was brought back up. Upfist as well, getting his helmet blown apart, and unfortunately for Todak, they know that this is not a fight that they want to take. You can see that they are dropping those blue walls and using it as a cover to back out. Pedro is providing suppressive fire, but that's pretty much it. No Escape Umbrella suffering the brunt of that engagement between these two teams, but it is Freedom Rumble who got the better end of the game. Meanwhile, Geek Fam shows their hit. They saw Freedom Rumble, and Geek Fam are very audio-based. Even with 3 members, they are not afraid to take on these fights. You can see that Exec already got a knock onto Fikri, but Fikri does get knocked down. And for Freedom Rumble, at least, they will be able to slow down Geek Fam's aggressiveness by a bit, just with that knock. They are now currently retreating. Maybe Todak can take this chance to get some damage in, because Neptune is now down his feet, and Freedom Rumble needs to turn back to get him back up as well. So this is gonna take a while for Freedom Rumble. They are losing precious time and resources, but alas, they still made it out alive.
Yeah, I think at this point it's just Geek Fam sort of hoping that they're able to get a free pick off, especially with the condition that Freedom Rumble is in, right? Because the team was just so busy, occupied with a couple of other teams, but yeah, don't want to be caught by Geek Fam. They're clearly aware that Geek Fam is there too, right? They would have seen the kill feed, so they think like, okay, we know where Geek Fam is. We are going to go around the mountain and not engage into a monster of a team such as that. And we have our brand new circle. It is going to be right towards the western side of Brasilia, and we have a lot of teams heading there right now. Sorry Roll coming in from the northern section. Team Princess is going to have to cross the river somehow, and we're probably going to be looking at them crossing the bridge. From the southern side, though, we have one member of No Escape still alive. I think he's currently being he's stuck because of Todak at this point in time. And he's going to have a really difficult time actually going into that circle unless... Oh, actually, it's more than one. It's 2. Is there any more in there? I can't quite see the stack. I think it's
There's
2.
2 of them. Wonder if Spark knows this. Well, he
Okay,
certainly
grenade.
does right now.
Grenade.
With how he positions
Oh.
himself, that
Oh.
nade is gonna bait out the wall, but it only buys time for the inevitable to happen. Toda, they've got no escape umbrella in their side. iPan's no longer there. And so it's Cass. So Toda cleans up no escape umbrella. They were able to finish what they started. We're down to the final 6 team. Team Princess is the only team isolated from the rest of the pack, and they should be crossing that bridge pretty soon. We saw on the radar just now Freedom Rumble making that long winded rotation just to avoid Geek Fam, and at the same time they also were able to avoid Toda, who went the other way, and that's how they found no escape umbrella. But we saw Team Princess finally reaching dry land on the main island. This is going to set us up for the final showdown.
They're on the low ground though, so positioning wise, they're not really in a favorable position to actually engage into Todak. It could be the other way around if Todak know where they are, but I don't think they have that information yet. We'll have to see for now. But if anything, I'm actually looking forward to seeing what Secret Expert are going to be able to do, right? Because they're almost dead center and they're in a really good position as well. They've got a very good compound. They have a lot of windows to work with. So it could be a game here for Secret Expert, but again, it's just going to depend on how these other teams are going to be coming into the circle as well.
You look at the team surrounding Secret Expert, it is super scary. You have Sorry Roar on the northwest, Freedom Rumble directly northward soon, and this circle still has Secret Expert within it, but when the next circle rolls around, Secret Expert will certainly be forced to move. And the closest team to them will be Freedom Rumble, so unfortunately for Secret Expert, they might have to start fighting this 4v3 sooner than they expected. Geek Fam are in a wonderful spot. They got a bit of compound to work with on that southeastern side, completely uncontested. Todak will share the neighborhood with them, but I don't think they will engage Geek Fam that soon.
Yeah, I think the biggest loser actually is probably Team Princess, right? Because they sort of have to come in from the road, and looking at the cover on the map, they don't really have too much to work with. But we'll take a look at see how these other teams are doing, because so far it looks like it's going to be very crowded towards that northwest section of the map.
And 2 members of Sorry Roar have already been sniped by Freedom Rumble too fast, making those shots count. And that is certainly going to alert the members of Secret Expert, but I wonder if Taken will be able to get some shots in. One of the deadliest snipers in the entire league. And if there is a time to shine, this is it. 2 teams in front of him, he just has to pick his target in a cautious manner. And so far, because no players have been effectively killed off on the kill feed, Taken will still stay put in his, ghillie suit and just continue to survey what is going on. But on the other end, Team Princess finally tries to force their way in, and Luck Jeezy gets a good snipe onto Chill. That is going to buy some time for Team Princess to slowly inch their way in as Taken finally puts on the grenade launcher, and he was able to find 3 knocks, and Taken has gone to work. Freedom Rumble also chips in, and Sorry Roar now has to fight a fight that they don't want to be a part of. 2 teams pelting them at once with bullets, and unfortunately for Sorry Roar, they are living on borrowed time. Alpha X are desperately trying to avoid the zone, and he was able to do so, but the suppressive fire from Pedro makes it super hard for Team Princess to make any more moves into the compound. But that means Toda will also have to back off. Neptune will nail the final kill of Sorry Roar, knocking them out in 6th place. But Toda, at the same time, will now have to try and brute force their way through Team Princess, because this is going to be pretty tricky.
Yeah, and there's really not much room to work with as well. One of the disadvantages of actually having a circle in an area like this, right, is that there's going to be a lot of walls that you can't actually traverse over, so your moves are kind of limited compared to a map where you're left in an open field where you can choose to put your glue walls down. But it seems like so far we still have all these teams competing with one another, and look at the right side of the map. Geek Fam are basically just going to wait until this battle royale is over.
Yeah, Geek Fam, they are just playing the patient game, and Freedom Rumble will clean up Secret Expert. As Secret Expert couldn't make a decision where they want to look at. Team Princess will be the next to go, as Toda continues their conquest into the center of the circle. Afik is already on the ground, and I don't think they can bring him back up, so Toda will only have to play with 3 members. But they do make it into one of the houses, and they were able to see members of Geek Fam slowly beelining towards the center as well. Toda have decided that this house will be the place that they make their final stand. But can they stand up against Geek Fam? Certainly, for now they can. Freedom Rumble with 11 kills will have to do with Geek Fam first, but they get it told out. They're trying to third-party this, but they will pay with blood as Freedom Rumble comes in and wipes out. They try to fight Toad out, but Toad out wipes them out instead. And this whole might just work out, but Geek Fam, they're storming the compound with full force. It's going to be a 3 versus 2 in favor of Geek Fam. Victory on the outskirts. They try to find a way in. They're throwing grenades into the building, but Toad out have been still in an ironclad manner. Nano 4 still somehow breaks through the compound and takes out Spark. Shield doesn't have health to work with anymore, and Toad out will bleed out to the blue zone. Geek Fam with 6 kills, but they start the evening with a booyah.
To nobody's surprise, Geek Fam, the champions so far, the Goliaths of the groups, able to get the first booyah of the day. We saw them secure 2 back-to-back booyahs yesterday. If anything, it just seems like these guys are sort of flexing going into the, the grand finals, right? Because let's be real, they kind of don't need these points.
Yeah, they certainly don't. It's all for bragging rights. And who can blame them, right? This is probably the strongest comeback, the strongest return to competitive Free Fire that we've seen. Geek Fam was gone for a while. They were off the radar, but this return with a slightly refurbished roster has definitely proved its weight in gold. With starting off the day with 400 points in the bag, and they just got 18 more points on that tally. Not that it matters too much, but proving a point certainly is important for a team like Geek Fam.
I'm actually really looking forward to the grand finals to see if there's any teams that can sort of take these guys down within a day. But grand finals, we'll leave that for another time. I know I'm excited, but after that first matchup though, Husky, so we already saw how some of these teams were able to perform today, and we're also starting to get a feel of how these teams are going to be in terms of points, right? Because today is a very important day for a lot of these middle end of the bracket, and especially the bottom end of the bracket teams, because you want to get as many points as possible. Do you feel like there were any teams today that you just thought like, oh, this is a really bad start because they need points?
I think for No Escape Umbrella, for sure, they got picked off very early on, even though they were not the first team to get knocked out, but they didn't get any kills in return, right? They were shot by Freedom Rumble and Toad out while they were trying to cross the freeway in those vehicles, and in the end it was Toad out who wiped them out. So No Escape Umbrella's chances of overtaking Metrics has been cut down
slim
by
now,
one
really.
round. Yeah, it's even more slim, right? Considering Metrics hasn't even played a single round yet. But
yeah.
I would say Freedom Rumble had a great round, even though they ended the round in 3rd place. They had 11 kills before they get knocked out.
They just ended the round in 3rd place. Oh, says Husky. 3rd place doesn't matter apparently. It's all, if you go home or go what's it? You go all out or go home. But I mean, it's a completely fair assessment though. It means Freedom Rumble, it's pretty good for them to be able to pick up those points. I think if anything, I'd be pretty devastated if I was Blacklist International, right? Although unfortunately they did run into a very unfortunate team, Geek Fam. And we all sort of know how that generally happens, but do you think if they didn't run into Geek Fam that we could have actually seen Blacklist go much further? Because we know that for a fact, Blacklist are fantastic fighters. But it's just, when it comes to Geek Fam, sometimes it becomes a coin flip, depending on the terrain.
Yeah, I certainly think so as well. I think there are 4 teams that I always pay attention to when it comes down to CQC. The best team being Geek Fam right now, that is without a shadow of doubt. For 2nd place, I would say Blacklist, and then you have Freedom Rumble and Secret Expert. I think Secret Expert is more of a unique case because they do have Taken who like to play those long range, but at the same time they do have members like Na and Fakaji who can play those close quarter combat, even though they haven't really put up that much success compared to the other teams. But you can see Freedom Rumble, they ended the round with 12 kills. So despite not getting the booyah, they got the most points. 20 for these guys. Geek Fam with a booyah and 6 kills lands themselves 18. Todak gets 17 as they finish in 2nd place with 8 kills. Secret Expert gets 12. Team Princess gets 11. And Blacklist International in 6th place with 8 points.
Only 3rd place, he says. And then Freedom Rumble ends up being in top of the leaderboard with 12 kills. It's fine, don't worry about it. But I mean, the team's gonna be pretty happy with themselves, especially that this is the last day of the league stage. You really want to get as many points as possible to really make that climb. So I think Freedom Rumble, we do need to keep an eye out on this team because ultimately, as much as we love Freedom Rumble, there are times where you just see this team go off like this round, and then other games where the team just gets shredded right from the get-go.
And you can see that this round standing is the perfect example of which of the hierarchy for Group A and Group B combined. Freedom Rumble, Geek Fam, Todak, Secret Expert, Team Princess, and Blacklist International, the 6 best teams from these 2 groups, are all in the top 6. I think there is no better way to illustrate that than this round standing, even though the sequence is not really how we would rank them, but the general idea is there. For Story Raw, No Escape Umbrella, New Gang, EWG, Devora, and Icon, they sit in the bottom 6th place, but this is more of a given if we just look at the power rankings itself. No Escape Umbrella, they did get 4 placement points, but it is still a very long journey uphill. They have 3 more rounds left. Metrics still very relaxed, just waiting for their chance to play some Free Fire later on. They should be pretty happy with how this first round has, transpired for No Escape Umbrella.
Well, Husky, we're going to be jumping into our next game very soon. So we just concluded Purgatory, and we're going to be returning to Bermuda for Game 2 between Groups A versus B. And we've already seen what happens on Bermuda yesterday. We get a lot of action very early on. The map is much, much smaller compared to the other 2 competitive maps. I'm sort of wondering, what's going to be the play here? Are we going to just see a team start pulling off some cheese? Because if there's a time to pull out cheese, it's now. You don't have time. You need to do the cheese right now.
I wouldn't be surprised if Geek Fam gets all 4 booyahs for their games. I think they are certainly on fire. Yesterday, they got 2 out of 4 rounds, 2 wins out of 4 rounds they played, and they started off the evening with a booyah as well. And with this kind of display, I think Geek Fam are just at their best possible performance at this point. And obviously, we hope to see that in the grand finals. There are teams that in this league that has proven that they might not be the best during the group stage, but come grand final, they will also pull out some tricks from the back. Blacklist International and Freedom Rumble being 2 of those teams. But so far, none of these guys have been able to overcome Geek Fam consistently. So I would say Geek Fam would be on my radar to back another booyah on Bermuda. We'll see if we will be proven. I will be proven
Look
wrong.
at you jinxing them, Husky. Look at you just trying.
I am
to
trying
jinx
my
Geek
best.
Fam.
I am trying my absolute. I'm channeling my persona as the cursed prophet, but I think I have lost my powers a couple of weeks ago. So not sure if I should be happy about that. I know you took over some of it, so
Did I?
that mojo
remember.
is with you. You did. Well, ever so slightly.
Who knows? Who knows? All right, we're going to be jumping into our next game of the day. It is going to be Bermuda for Groups A versus B. We've already seen Geek Fam secure the first booyah of the day. Let's see if we're going to be seeing some more Geek Fam domination, or if we could be seeing some shenanigans come out, some cheese, some crazy strats, some hot drops. We love hot drops on this stream because we get a lot of early game action. But so far looks all right, although it looks like No Escape may have dropped right next to New Gank. It's a bit hard to say from here.
Whoa.
And
I am looking at Asip, and he is I don't know if he is trying to audition for the current Spider-Man movie, because he is far from home. He is super far from home.
I mean, did you see New Boys? He's just going all the way to the island in the bottom left-hand section of the map.
I think these guys want to run down the members of No Escape Umbrella. They certainly are flexing their new right.
Yeah, they're absolutely flexing. But bit of a sad moment here for Kenzie, unfortunately. Oh, actually getting dropped there. Now, the thing is, right, he had nothing to pick up. He had no guns, he had nothing. Free pick-off for No Escape Umbrella, which is actually a big deal for this team, because remember, right, they dropped very early in the last round. I don't think they really had any points to show for either. I think it was around 4 points or something they ended up with finishing in the last round. So for them to grab them now, this is going to be a big pickup for No Escape Umbrella.
And they picked up Fikain as well. So for New Gang, they are not really... They are a team that don't really matter too much in terms of the overall ranking, because they are so far away from 12th place, but they can still affect the standings, right, if they get a couple of pickoffs. In fact, No Escape Umbrella are only playing with 3 members. For the viewers out there, if you guys are confused about the logo, it is the Free Fire default logo, if I'm not mistaken. So it's No Escape Umbrella under that banner. But nonetheless, with 2 kills in the back, this should ease the tension for No Escape Umbrella, at least for the start of this round. they definitely need to work extra hard though with one less member for the rest of the match.
I feel like that's one of the massive disadvantages if you're sort of dropping in with 3. We don't know the circumstances of what really happened. I guess one of the players actually disconnected or glitched out during the drop. But yeah, it's going to be a pretty tough one here for No Escape Umbrella. But we're going to move on over to another team here. We've got Sorry Raw, and they are actually very close to Devora.
Yeah, Sorry Raw is a team that we don't really talk too much about, at least the positive things about them, because it feels like they always lose the important
Oh,
fights.
do they? Hang on.
Oh, here comes Jinquest from behind John, and that's definitely a tag. But he has eliminated the rest of Sorry Raw though, so Devora kind of engaging a fight that they might not be able to win. Jinquest certainly learned that the hard way, and Meki's gonna get swung as well. There is a glue wall. You can see that Ash comes in from behind with the Vector Akimbo, completely catching the members of Sorry Raw off guard, and Jinquest might have just pulled off the bait and switch, because for Devora, they certainly are winning this fight. They still will lose Jinquest, Cyber on the ground, but at the end of it, it will be Devora that comes up on top. They wipe out Sorry Raw, and I guess what I said about Sorry Raw is certainly true. They just don't win the important fights. Even with the initial knock, they were not able to close out the chapter.
That's actually really unfortunate too, right? Because positioning wise, Sorry Raw were the ones really capitalizing the hill. I know that they were trying to use the hill to see if they could actually catch out some other teams, but it seems like Devora, they were able to just sort of sneak on in. They weren't caught at all, and they were able to pick up those kills for themselves. So a very big win for the team. As we get a quick top-down view of these other teams. So it seems that looking at the placement of these other teams, we could be seeing a engagement here between Todak and New Gank down towards the southern side. But outside of that, everyone else is pretty far away from the competition. So we're probably going to be jumping into that fight in just a moment, as everyone is still busy looting. But very surprising, because remember, guys, this is Bermuda, and Bermuda is probably the most action-packed map of the game, and I'm very surprised at how slow it is.
I'm slightly worried about regarding where this circle is gonna head towards. If it ends up at Riverside and at the dam, we might be seeing kind of a deja vu, a reenactment of what happened in week 1, where the last circle was at the dam. Whoever's at the lower portion of that structure might have a better chance of winning, simply because there is some sort of cover to hide behind. Secret Expert, on the other hand, tries to take on Freedom Rumble, but Nga does lose the gunfight, and Fuck Haji also tagging a couple of shots as well. They still are very persistent with their shots as taken. He is also getting punished by the members of Freedom Rumble, and this sniper is definitely getting challenged. Freedom Rumble, not a team that shies away from these kind of trades, and they certainly are still very adamant on making some and dealing some damage to Secret Expert. But so far, no team is winning this exchange, and Freedom Rumble decided that, yeah, it was enough ammunition that we expended. Let's back off. Same for Secret Expert. You're just gonna, call it a day and just wait for the next engagement.
I think you'd still be happy if you're Secret Expert, because you did force out a number of glue walls. I think we're looking at 5 or 6 that actually got dropped down. But the bad news might be that they could have alerted Geek Fam to their position, because we just saw very quickly before we swapped over that Geek Fam was actually running in the direction of Secret Expert. We'll check in a little bit later on as we quickly look at Todak's perspective. It looks like for now the team is actually next to the clock tower. Just busy looting so far. I'm not really seeing anything happening from Todak's side of the map. But here's Geek Fam. Now, did they catch wind of Secret Expert? I don't think they did.
I don't think so as well. Freedom Rumble certainly are not done yet, because fate has it, they run into Secret Expert once more. And Freedom Rumble, they definitely started off the day on a very high note. Despite not having the Booyah, they did bag 20 points because they got 12 kills. And let's see if they can continue that momentum. It will not put them in contention of second or first place, but it will at least secure them that third place finish if they keep this up. Contrary to Team Princess's performance, they didn't have a good round 1, so this would allow Freedom Rumble to set themselves apart from third and fourth place. And you can see the Secret Expert are trying to send some members into the open to try to get a better angle of this area, but Freedom Rumble has their eyes on that.
That's going to be pretty hard for Secret Expert to get out of this rather easily, but I think the team, they're just more focused on actually trying to maintain their compound. I think it's just going to be a standoff, Husky. I don't think anything's really going to be happening. Like, these teams are just so far from each other. It's going to be very difficult to actually guarantee any knocks.
Yeah, and Freedom Rumble are holding a pretty interesting formation as well. They are kind of guarding two sides of the map with a river in
Ooh.
between. But for Blacklist
Uh-oh.
International, they might see the members of Devora coming in, and certainly they did. Phoenix gets a free one onto Ash as Freedom Rumble continues to fire shots at Secret Expert, who made the call to once again disengage from Freedom Rumble. Another good call from this team. It's not taking fights that they are not confident in winning. They didn't have enough intel to work with. But not the same for Blacklist International though. They saw the members of Devora running downhill, and this might just be the end for Devora because they don't have covers to work with, and Blacks International already have their crosshairs locked onto the members of Devora. Neki and Cyber completely trapped as New Gang gets finished off by No Escape Umbrella.
Big kills for No Escape. We know how they desperately need those kills, but here we go. Blacklist going to be raining downhill onto this poor team, Team Devora. Are they going to be able to at least maybe deal some damage back to Blacklist? I think it's going to be a tough one, Husky.
They might be able to if Blacklist plays a bit reckless. We know that Blacklist, just like those experienced team, most experienced team nowadays, would like to clear out areas with utilities first. And Phoenix is inching very close towards the last two remaining members of Devora. The good glue wall to kind of rebound that grenade, and Neki with a great swing to take out Phoenix. And he's gonna try to finish the job. Oh, catches Miro as well. Oh, Blacklist International a bit too careless with that push. Cobra now desperately coming in to provide some backup. He's able to down Cyber, but you still have Neki to deal with. And of course, Cobra is the savior for his team. That could have gone really bad for Blacklist International, and it certainly is going really bad for Icons because Geek Fam have decided that they've had enough of hide and seek. They want to finish the job as fast as possible, and they certainly did. In the blink of an eye, Geek Fam gets 4 kills and Icon are out.
Wow, I was really scared there for Blacklist International. After Devora was able to get those 2 knocks, I just thought, oh my gosh, is this going to be the end of them? As you said, right? It's like, is it a case of them playing a little bit too risky? And I mean, but they literally just ran into some really heavy shotgun shells. Luckily, the 2 players on Blacklist weren't eliminated. I think we would have been looking at a completely different game here for Blacklist if Devora actually committed to getting those 2 downs. But if anything, really, really lucky. In terms of that poor team that got eliminated by Geek Fam, you have my condolences. Anybody that runs into Geek Fam, I feel very sorry for.
Yeah, I mean, Geek Fam are making a very interesting move because they always drop Clock Tower in Bermuda, but you see them move towards the far northwestern side of the map, which is a pretty rare maneuver from a team like Geek Fam, but I can understand where they're coming from. They are in no rush to get like a ton of points. They just want to secure the position, so playing in a safer manner does contribute to that. They can still fight the final fight if they need to and potentially get more booyahs, but there is no need to take much risk. Blacklist International, they did run into Team Princess, and Jimmy Neo stood no chance at all. Like, maybe the rest of Team Princess might face the brunt of it. Oh, Lux GZ getting caught out in the open thanks to Cobra. But Blacklist International needs to finish their business pretty soon because look at who's on the horizon. There's Freedom Rumble on one side, there's Todak on the other, and Export will be able to down Ijaz Sir, and Team Princess is just not having a good day. Round 1 was horrible. Round 2 was also a tragedy for this team. They don't really have much more room to work with, but those extra fires from Todak will force Blacklist International away from the remnants of Team Princess. Maybe Todak can get some steals in, but for Team Princess, they are definitely living on borrowed time.
Yeah, actually quite surprised with Team Princess's performance for today. We'll see if Todak is able to get that last remaining player on Team Princess. No?
Trying to look for him.
Does Pedro not know? No?
Oh, he's checking.
No? He's behind the tree. Pedro.
Oh,
Alpha's running.
He's
Alpha's running.
If he makes it out of this, it would be the greatest escape of all time. He might be able to do so though. Look at him. He's beelining towards. He's beelining towards the light, and I think he made it. Alpha XR somehow gets away from the clutches of both Blacklist and Todak combined. This is why this guy is one of the star players of the team. If you have to play a safer game, but hey, Team Princess, they are still in.
They're still in, you know, the new mantra. Be one with nature. Be one with the tree.
I'm not gonna lie, I did not see where he was. I was also
Oh, you
looking
didn't
for him.
either. Oh, okay.
I was also
yeah.
looking for him. I was looking at the radar and I was like, where's this guy? Like his portrait is overlapping with Todak members, but I don't see him.
So he was literally, you know, how there was the sort of like those walls around the building.
Yeah.
He was in the corner behind a tree.
He has mastered the art of camouflage. He's a chameleon.
He's a chameleon.
Chameleon at heart. Well, he has to avoid EWG, so let's see if that is gonna work out. He is dangerously close to EWG, and I don't think there's much cover around that area. You can see that Alpha XR, yep, they spotted him. He is hiding behind a power grid, and Mantai is just patrolling the top of the hill, the top of the cliff. They're trying to flush him out with the grenades as well. Alpha XR will have to make his final stand, and unfortunately, that is where he dies. Oh, but maybe Toda can exit distraction. I don't know. Spark is behind Alpha XR, so maybe the Great Escape is not that great after all.
Personally, I don't think Todak is even going to know that Team Princess is there, right? Because EWG already gave their position away, so I think Todak's going to be busy. Wait.
Oh, they found him.
Wait. I lied.
Oh, they found him. His back is exposed.
There we go.
Pedro gets him.
It was Pedro too. Yep, alright.
Todak was able, well, EWG was able to punish Todak a bit. They were able to knock down Chill, but no kills yet.
Alright, so moving on though, it looks like Blacklist, they are on the hunt and they've actually found no escape. Now this is actually terrible for no escape because we know for a fact that this team needs points and it looks like almost all the team members are cornered. It looks like one of them was actually able to exit from the southern side, so it seems like they will be able to maybe try and play for placement points, but this is really painful to watch if you're a supporter for No Escape Umbrella, considering that we know the circumstances that they're in, that they need to have good rounds for the remainder of today's games.
Yeah, I would say this is unfortunate, but also a very noble sacrifice for the rest of his team, right? It is everyone for themselves. Secret Expert, well, meeting their nemesis, the demons that they could never overcome. Geek Fam, who is currently on a roll, but Taken, he already saw some members from Geek Fam, and Pakaji certainly is very close to Geek Fam, and Taken is going to be the first point of contact, and Geek Fam, they're out in the open. Maybe Secret Expert can knock some of them out. There's a grenade launcher from Taken, but he's not letting those shots. In fact, Victory is going to be the one who do so. Now it does eliminate Exact, well, at least knock him to the ground, but you can see Man04, he is so close to the rest of Secret Expert, and Taken does have the bush to work with. The second grenade launcher does not connect. Nah, let's get brought back up. Pakaji is still bleeding on the ground and now be knocked down a second time. Man04 has already infiltrated the compound. Ifno is trying to box himself in, but there is a small gap. They will be quickly blown through. He will use that medkit, trying to pick up with the Vacuum Akimbo, but Man04 will shut that show down. Two members of Secret Expert already fallen. Can Pakaji and Taken make some miracles happen? Oh, glue on to deflect the grenade. So well done from Geek Fam, as Man04 and the rest of his team will now try to overwhelm Secret Expert with sheer force. Taken does take down Exact with a dual wield Eagle, but can he do more? Man04 is now down. Geek Fam, they are slowly slipping, but Victory and Orin will be there to back their buddies up again. Glue on to buy a bit of time. Pakaji will not survive that. Grenade launcher out from Taken. Can he at least get some of the members from Geek Fam out? It seems like it's not a possibility because he is getting swarmed by Geek Fam. They will blow through all that glue wall, and Taken has no time for any medkits. Geek Fam takes out Secret Expert for the 10,000th time in the entire league, and now they have 8 kills under their belt.
How did no one on Geek Fam actually go down there? We saw a couple knocks on the side of Geek Fam, but it just seems like Secret Expert just weren't able to completely fulfill those kills in. And then Geek Fam just run right on top of them. That was... Kusky, that's insane!
This is probably the only series that the bad guys have plot armor. The Geek Fam just, they don't die. They will not die in the story arc. And Toda, they will try to run over EWG, and they certainly got a two-man nade. And EWG does respond with one of their own. Monito will find Afik and Chill. So Toda are sustaining heavy damage, trying to get rid of EWG, and maybe it's not really worth it at all because you have No Escape Umbrella, who just got eliminated. Unfortunately, Toa was able to find that last survivor, and he will trade his life in return. Toda not willing to let their grip go, but Geek Fam, they have made it into the safe zone, and of course they are the only team with the full squad left alive. So Todak, despite having a compound to work with, might not be entirely safe.
Yeah, I think it comes down to who ends up fighting who, because we saw in the last round, right? Geek Fam just decided we're gonna sit on the outskirts. We'll watch the bloodbath. We'll come in last, so at least we can fight the winner of that so and so fight. And we could be seeing the same thing happening here, but because they're out in the open, it seems like Geek Fam is actually gonna have to commit to these fights now. And they're actually contesting with Miral, with Fikri actually getting knocked down there by Cobra. Big knockdown, and he actually goes down in the process as well. So Geek Fam already losing one member.
Good shot by Cobra, but now they have to run straight into Geek Fam. Toda also scrambling, but they do have a house to work with. Exact needs to hold his ground against both Miral and Cobra. Grenade launchers are being fired from the side of Geek Fam, but Cobra is still alive. In fact, he has his own grenade launcher as well. He needs to make those shots count. Exact suppressing the members of Blacklist as much as he can, but Todak now also chipping in as well. Miro gets bombed by Orin with that grenade launcher, and Geek Fam, they're hiding behind those blue walls. This is going to be pretty close. Geek Fam, they're slowly running towards Todak as well. They need a bit more cover to work with, but those blue walls are depleting very fast, as there is a trade from both teams. And I think for Geek Fam, they might not be able to survive this, as Man 04 is down. Exit tanking the blue zone. Orin with him as well. Black International is out. Todak is Geek Fam. Can Geek Fam do it? Exact last man alive. And no, Pico shuts the show down. And Todak finally claims a booyah for themselves. But Geek Fam came super close.
Oh, Geek Fam came super close. Honestly, right, it took 2 teams to essentially knock out Geek Fam. It was a collaboration, if you want to call it that, a collaborated effort between Todak and Blacklist against Geek Fam. Could you imagine, for 2 teams, you needed 2 teams to take out just one? It just goes to show how strong Geek Fam is, especially if they're able to come into that final zone with the full squad. And I think if anything, those 2 teams probably thinking it's kind of a blessing considering the circumstances. If it was Geek Fam in that building, I think they would have easily gotten the booyah. Because they were out in the open and because they were being shot at from 2 different angles, the pressure was on, and it seemed like it was just a little bit too much this time.
Yeah, and it really took a gargantuan effort from both teams, right? And I think when they looked at the kill feed, Todak knew that Geek Fam had to go, or else we will see a second booyah for Geek Fam. But I think for Geek Fam, it's certainly a win in their books nonetheless. They made these 2 teams who are considered one of the strongest teams in the league sweat for it, and they had to work super hard to even get rid of Blacklist. And even until the end of the round, there was only 1 man left standing for Todak, and he wasn't in the best shape either. So Geek Fam certainly is a force to be reckoned with. But for Todak, they needed that booyah, and they got it.
Yeah, and we're starting to see teams sort of step back, especially if they have that compound in the final circle, right? It's like, why do you need to put yourself out there if you're at risk of potentially getting eliminated? Just let everyone fight against each other. Let the last man standing be your opponent, because by the time they've finished that first fight, they're going to be injured, they'll be low on glue walls, they'll probably have no grenades. It's much easier taking on a weakened opponent rather than joining into the fray when everyone is at an even playing field.
Yeah, and it all started with Cobra able to eliminate Fikri from the equation.
That was huge.
Yeah, that was actually really crucial for the rest of the round, because if Geek Fam ended up winning that trade, I think the result would have been what we expected, right? Geek Fam with a second booyah for the night. But nonetheless, I think for Todak, they had a very mediocre day yesterday. They only got, their best result was 2nd place, and even then it wasn't really impressive considering that they did drop the ball multiple times. But we do have a very interesting opening to the day, as this is Grand Theft Auto from the members of No Escape Umbrella. They stole the vehicle from New Gang and they were able to eliminate New Gang. Unfortunate outcome for Story Roar. They got the drop onto Devora, but they got backstabbed as a result, thanks to Ash and Cyber working hand in hand to eliminate Story Roar at the cost of, I believe, one of their members, which is Jim West. But in the grand scheme of things, it did work well with Devora. Blacklist International did suffer as well, but they were able to clean up Devora thanks to Cobra as the savior of the team.
Yeah, if this went sideways, I think we would have looked at a completely different game for Blacklist, but luckily the pickups, they were there. And as you can see here, Geek Fam, anyone that runs into Geek Fam is food. TLDR.
It does seem like it, right? That Geek Fam has been winning all of those 1 versus 1 challenges, and you can see this from how they sieged the compound. Secret Expert had so much time to work with, and yet they could not stop GeekFam when GeekFam decided to pull the trigger and storm the compound. And this was the fight where GeekFam had 2 members knocked down, but they ended the whole fight with 4 kills and 0 deaths.
Yeah, I think this was a very bizarre fight because I was expecting Secret Expert to maybe be able to finish off one of those kills, but it never came. They couldn't find the angle, and it just came down to GeekFam actually having the better placements. But as you can see, this was the final circle. GeekFam just assaulted from multiple fronts, having to deal with Blacklist and Todak, but Pedro being the one on the team to be able to land that lasting shot. And here we go. Here's our round standings for our second game of the day. It's actually going to be Todak followed by Blacklist and GeekFam. All 3 teams tied for first place with 19 points each.
Yeah. Certainly a rare sight, but no, we did not expect any less from the 3 best teams in the league. We have EWG in 4th place with 11. No Escape Umbrella able to rack up 10 points. Not too much, but it's certainly a big, in their book. Freedom Rumble getting 7, a big dip from the results of round number 1, and Devora getting 5. Secret Expert and Team Princess not having a good round, with Secret Expert getting 4 and Team Princess with 3. Icon only got 2. Sorry Roll gets 1, and New Gang, the first team to get knocked out by No Escape Umbrella, finishes the round with 0 points. And for GeekFam, we saw one of the rarest sights in FFCM, which was Man 04 losing a 1 versus 1 duel. You don't get to see that every day.
We don't get to see that every day, and I have a feeling now Husky may have jinxed this matchup, and we could be seeing some crazy stuff happening later today. But this does conclude our first group matchup, right? So A and B is completed. We're going to be moving on to our next groupings. It's going to be B versus C. So teams in Group A are going to sit on the sidelines. They'll be able to watch this next matchup and sort of prepare themselves going up against C. But knowing from what we saw in B versus C yesterday, Husky, would we just say like inevitably it's just going to be the GeekFam show, because that's really what ended up being the final results of yesterday's matches for B versus C. It was 2 back-to-back booyahs by GeekFam.
Yeah, I think that might be the end result, and even if it's not GeekFam, there is a high chance that some other team from Group B would walk away with the win. For Group C, I think we are definitely keeping our eyes on metrics. Let's see if they would go for Dual Variety again. I feel like they're really bullying these guys.
I was gonna ask you actually, just like, do you think they're gonna try and go for these hot drops again? And I'm wondering, like, whoever it is that's getting hot drops, are they going to change their drop spot today? Because it would be so strange for these hot drops to just land with no issues today.
Yeah, it takes a lot of effort to do your homework to track the enemy team down, because you effectively don't know who is dropping, right?
Yeah.
Even on the radar. So I think
Yeah.
Metrics, they certainly did their homework. But this is the map recap. We have Purgatory and Bermuda for the last day of the league stage, and round number 1 and 2 were between Group A and Group B. GeekFam walked away with round 1, and Todak walked away with round 2 in a very jaw-biting, nail-biting final circle. Of course, it's a pretty interesting start to the night. GeekFam with their very obvious win in round 1, and Todak, GeekFam, and Blacklist tying up their score by the end of round 2. Let's take a look at the overall standings. GeekFam, of course, still leading the chart in first place with 437 points, but we do have Todak making it up to 388. Freedom Rumble back in third place with 312. Team Princess not able to catch up. They have 292, but Blacklist International certainly are catching up with 291, followed by Secret Expert with 276. Icon in 7th place with 262, Sorry Roar in 8th place with 240, and Epic in 9th place with 239 points.
And of course, we do need to take a look at the lower end of the bracket as well. EWG sitting on 219 points, AKO Steady Squad hanging in there with 216 points, and Metrics in 12th place with 197 points. Their closest competitor, No Escape Umbrella, sitting at 177 points, but Husky, there's a very big but with this. Can they catch up today? Because No Escape have effectively already played 2 of their matches, and Metrics, haven't dropped in yet. So Metrics are currently at a massive advantage.
Yeah, and you also have the team that fears Metrics, Duo Barada in 14th place, so their chances of making it into 12th place really rests on
It's really slim.
Yeah, not getting hunted down by Metrics, and if they do get hunted down by Metrics, they need to win the fight and have a good round for the rest of the night. New Gang, 150 points in 15th place. Devora, MND, Diehard, and Hero. These guys has effectively no chance of making it into 12th spot, but they do have the power to affect the overall standings.
Right, and now before we jump into our next matchup, we're going to take a look at our MVP for our first 2 games of the day. Can we guess who it is? It is Neptune from Freedom Rumble, sitting with 7 kills from those two maps, 2 assists, 3,598 damage, and a hit rate of 49.9%.
Great to see members of Freedom Rumble back in the Hall of Fame, especially when they have such an up and down performance, and even the fact that Neptune got MVP was super impressive considering that they didn't have the best first 2 rounds. Round 1 was great, but round 2 was certainly underwhelming considering how they did lose those early fights and they were not able to kind of close out the skirmish. But nonetheless, well deserved by Neptune. Freedom Rumble are going to take a short break alongside everyone else from Group A. But Group B, they stay in the ring as we welcome Group C into the fray.
I'm a little bit worried for some of these teams in Group C because they're probably thinking like, oh, it's Group B, it's Geek Fam, it's Team Princess, it's all these really, really big teams. So, and how do you even compete with these teams, especially if you're trying to get these booyahs? It almost seems like a series of unfortunate events have to happen for these teams in Group B to not get a booyah.
Yeah, and for Group C, there are some teams who have no chance of making it into top 12. So I wonder if they would play a bit more freely, right? You have nothing to lose.
Okay, wait. They do still have something to play for. They still have money to play for, right? Yeah. So, I mean, points still matter. It's just this time they're playing for money rather than placement points. So it's not all lost Husky, but everyone's got their own goals, especially for these matches.
They certainly do. What we saw yesterday from MND, Diehard, and Hero, the 2 bottom teams, was pretty interesting. They have very stark differences. Hero still playing the games like as normal. They take fights. They try to engage in other teams no matter who they are. Whereas for MND Diehard, they play a really safe style. They don't really engage in any fights unless they're forced to. They're more of a pacifist team towards the end of the group stage. And I wonder if it would still be that way for the final 4 rounds today. And if it is, then we can safely say that MND Diehard would not have too much of an impact towards other teams.
Yeah. But at this point in time, we just sort of have to hope, are these teams going to be able to survive the early game? Because I think a lot of people, at this point, a lot of teams in Group B are sort of looking at them and thinking like, oh, these are cannon fodder. These are free points. And I mean, I hate to say it, but that's sort of how some of these teams are looking at these players in Group C as just, okay, these guys are not really big competition, but heck, it's the last day. We could be seeing some crazy shenanigans. And of course, it also comes down to whether some of these teams are going to get lucky drops, right? Because we have seen in the past, for a team to pick up a surprise grenade launcher, you can absolutely turn these fights around.
Absolutely. And of course, we will head back to Purgatory for our 3rd match of the day. It's Group B against Group C. Group B have 2 more rounds left, whereas Group C, they just started the evening. And all eyes are certainly on Metrics, whether they would chase down Duo Barade. And of course, if that's the case, I want to see Duo Barade change the drop spot. And here we go, Duo Barade dropping to a ski lodge, and we don't see Metrics. We do see Metrics, but they're not hunting down Duo Barade. So finally, a game where Duo Barade don't get bullied by Metrics. Now, can they make use of this opening?
Okay, but the thing is Metrics looking to bully anyone this time? And
wonder
it
who else can they bully,
like... So far, it seems like no. We're going to be looking at a normal game here for Metrics. Well, not normal, I suppose. They're right next to Team Princess, so you could be seeing some shenanigans early on. But looking at the northern side of the map, though, Epic have actually dropped very, very close to New Gang. So we could be seeing a little bit of action up there very soon. And actually, we could also see Devora running into Geek Fam, although Geek Fam is only going to be running 3 players on the island.
I like it, Geek Fam going for the split. They are the only few teams that would make those kind of maneuvers and pull it off. Maybe Metrics wants to up the stakes. They got tired of two Duo Brade and they might want to challenge Team Princess. But Hero certainly started the round off by taking out one of the members, I believe, from EWG. Epic is also under fire. So far, Hero has been able to get the first blood. EWG not in a good spot, as Hero will slowly hunt them down, and with the members of EWG separated from one another, this could be an early grave for them.
Yeah, it depends if anyone's able to get some really nice shots on EWG, and also the loadout, right? Like what items everyone was able to grab before these fights started. And we'll have to see what happens here, but it seems like Hero are going to be the ones to play as the aggressors. But actually, look on the other side of the map, Husky. We've actually got AKO who could be potentially coming in if they have any idea as to where these EWG players are. And I think Arjun Boo, I think he's seen Mantai, so we could be looking at a 3-way fight here.
And poor EWG, not much resources to work with and not much ground to work with as well. Pincered by Hero and AKO Steady Squad. It's time for them to pick the poison. Who do you want to give the points to? Is it AKO Steady Squad, who are trying to solidify their position in the top 12, or is it going to be Hero, who at the end of the day will not make too much difference in terms of the leaderboard? I think for EWG, both choices do sting, and even though they are in top 12 themselves, you certainly don't want to get overtaken by AKO Steady Squad, because that does affect that prize money a bit.
I don't think Tuan knows Moon is behind him, and I think Moon was actually hanging onto a grenade, so he might be looking to throw a grenade a little bit later, but Manchai almost getting dropped there, but it looks like he was able to get the time turner off, so he is still rather protected, hiding around the corner now. But Husky, is this going to be the end of Manchai? It looks like it is. The drop is there. Benito's down as well. Oh, AWG, what a terrible start for this team.
And Moon has his sights set on that watchtower. He knows that Tua is in that area. So this is certainly the end for EWG, and after this round, AKO Steady Squad would overtake them in the overall standing. So very unfortunate for EWG, but they didn't have the best of start to the day, and seems like they are going to continue down the trajectory. Meanwhile, on the very northern side of the map, close to Mod House, we have NWG New Gang running straight at Epic. AKO, well, they want to clean up EWG, but they are taking it pretty slow. Feels like you're surrounded on a lone island. Oh, never mind. Wanted to say that he's surrounded on an island, and AKO are the sharks. But
very lonely tower.
It's a very lonely death as well.
Yeah. I mean, what can you really do though? Like, once your teammates are down, you're sort of stuck in that tower. And ideally, you'd rather not give the kill away, but I mean, where else are you going to go? You don't really have that plan B escape route. But speaking of escape route, who's going to need one in this engagement? New Gang actually running right into Epic Husky. And it seems like for now, it might not look too good for Coco, because he's only got a little bit of cover to work with. He's rather open otherwise.
And he's going to go for the white swing, but there is support fire from New Gang, and unfortunately the support from Epic isn't as powerful as the one from New Gang. Epic has already lost one. Asif runs straight into an ambush. Siga was able to down him. New Gang will come to provide some backup, and Siga is going to go for the challenge. Actually gets another down with the Vector Kimbo, but he will not be able to overpower Kenzie, as New Gang barely makes it out of that alive with 4 kills and 0 deaths.
Oh, mini heart attack there. I actually thought New Gang were actually going to potentially lose that. But luckily, all 4 members are still there. None of them were able to, or at least none of them were going to go down. So they'll be able to maintain their members. Could be very happy with that at the end of the day, though. But looks like MND might be running into New Gang. So they might not be too happy if they're not able to get their health back up. Duo Braddock is also running towards Moat House. So we could actually see quite a bit of action up here.
You would love it if Duo Barade are able to get out of this alive and with a couple of kills. But it is a very difficult task. Circle certainly is in their favor. But this is one of the best starts that Duo Barade could have gotten for themselves, and they just need to kind of make use of it. And all eyes are on, are on Rish and Crown. Well, actually, yeah, today, Rich and Cry didn't see Kimmy in the roster, so a bit of an adjustment for Duo Barade. These two need to pull their weight for sure. Yesterday was a horrible day. They were constantly getting pushed and kicked around by Metrics. So now with a bit of freedom, they should be able to walk around the map without much worries. Metrics are still alive though, and they might run straight into Secret Expert.
This is going to be a heck of a team for Metrics to go up against. And I'm not sure if it's a fight you really want to be jumping into, but they'll give it a go. They'll see what happens. I don't know, though, especially... Oh, they got the double taken!
A huge knock. Thanks to Rai winning that fight, but for Secret Expert, they're still safe with all 4 members alive. And of course, if Metrics gets knocked out right now, it is certainly good news for No Escape Umbrella and Duo Barade. Of course, Metrics needs to have an absolute tragedy of a day to lose their spot in the 12th place. And that doesn't mean that they are slacking. They certainly are pulling their weight. And with that initial knock, it definitely proves that they are coming in hot. But for Secret Expert, now with that initial knock, it certainly did damage the helmet of Taken with that headshot. So he's gonna play back a bit more and see where the circle leads Metrics towards. It feels like if the circle continues up north, they will eventually have to clash. But for Duo Barade, they already saw the members of New Gang, and Crown 86 will be the first person to relay that information.
I wonder what the plan is here for Duo Baradic, if they're actually going to try and swarm the island, or maybe they just sort of hide here and wait for New Gang to pass by. But I mean, positioning-wise, it's not really the best place to be, right? I mean, you're stuck on an island. It's not like you're going to be able to run right into New Gang either. We'll see what they want to do soon, but the standoff continues for Secret Expert and Metrics. I mean, I think I remember cheering for Metrics last time, but I'm a little bit worried about this. I can understand why you don't want to move either, because if you do try to leave, you could potentially get backstabbed and get some knocks on the side of Secret Expert, but... I'm a bit worried here for Metrics.
Pretty tense situation for these two teams.
Oh, it is very, very tense here.
Especially for Metrics, right? They are not really in the clear just yet. You know, they can still face the risk of not making it to the grand finals. But Devora did see a vehicle uphill just now. Not sure who that belongs to.
I think it was Geek Fam. Not 100% sure.
Can't really see on the radar, unfortunately.
It's Geek Fam.
Oh, there we go. It certainly is. Around Forge.
This is the team that eliminated them last round. They get out of here, Devora. Is this the same? Devora, get out. Get out of here, Devora. No.
I don't think they know.
Don't. Please. Please don't.
Oh,
just
boy.
get out of here, Devora. Go the other way. Go west, please.
The blue zone says no. The blue zone certainly disagrees with you, Danny.
No.
They are running straight into Geek Fam. And they have to run uphill. And look at where Geek Fam have positioned themselves.
It's right on top of
the hill.
Devora. Jesus.
New Gang have crossed over to the mainland from Moat House, and they run straight into MND Diehard. Maybe Duo Barade can get some backstabs in. We'll just have to see how that pans out. This next circle will dictate where the teams head towards, and of course, it's going to be towards the northern side. Secret Expert will certainly have to deal with Metrics, but maybe Team Princess will join in as well. Hero making the very long rotation from down south.
Oh, Husky.
Oh,
Husky.
boy. Here we
No.
go. Oh, Geek Fam, they're driving away. They're evacuating. They're not taking the fight.
Did they just not see? They just dropped some flags. Just said ciao. What?
Devora didn't even bother firing. This is Geek Fans' way of showing mercy. You know, this is their way of being generous to Devora. You know, they're not gonna get a second chance. And MND Diehard, they tried to take on New Gang and they ended up losing one member. AKO Steady Squad somehow makes it into the picture, and MND Diehard now has to face off against AKO Steady Squad, an uninvited guest to this party. And New Gang, they are just watching the show unfold in the front row seat with a bucket of popcorn in their hands, and Mr. D is pelting MND Diehard from afar. Jimbo trying to make it up to the second floor, but that blue wall is going to take a while to get taken out. Finally,
New Gang's coming
has
in.
been. New Gang, Kenzie is sneaking very close forward. Zero does get a knock onto Mouse with that grenade, and Ajibu goes for the peek, a jumping shotgun, and he lands it. True and accurate onto Trixie, and that is Trixie gone. And MND Diehard completely trapped in their own building. And big man Arjun Wu and the rest of his squad is going to take the time cleaning up MND Diehard. Maybe New Gang can stick their hand in the cookie jar and get some kills in return. But this certainly is important for AKO Steady Squad if they want to redeem themselves.
Yeah, I mean, it's a really good way to sort of start redeeming themselves. But, interesting move from Arjun Wu, actually wanting to drop down from the roof. Not the roof, actually, from the second floor. But so far, he's not able to be taken down. But it looks like it's going to be a three-way fight here. MND still waiting for these teams to complete their fight in the bottom. But so far, AKO are looking fantastic, able to get those drops make those drops happen. MND, they're going to try and get away, but I don't know, Husky, is this going to happen?
It looks pretty hard. I mean, AKO have the whole building surrounded. Meanwhile, Secret Expert getting wiped out by Geek Fam. And that is super unfortunate. Duo Barade also chipped in as well, so they got some free points along the way. AKO Steady Squad continues to pile on the pressure onto MND Diehard and New Gang. And New Gang somehow finds themselves trapped in the same building as MND Diehard. A pretty awkward position to be in, considering New Gang was the one who wanted to take out MND Diehard. You can see that Mr. D has made his way up the hill. Now he has a clear sight of the building in case his team needs some backup. Arjun with another great nade. Kenzie tries to do a Grand Theft Auto and get away, but that vehicle will not stand. Drives 5 meters and gets set ablaze by Zero, who will now hunt down Kenzie, but Kenzie has to back to Akimbo, so Zero has to be careful. Double blue wall layers just to protect himself from Kenzie, but Kenzie is not done yet. Moves on the side, not able to go for the slash and hack, and he will pay in blood. Zero wipes up Kenzie, and that's the end of New Gang.
Well, that's going to be the end of New Gang, but we still have one more player here, Husky. Still hiding. Still on that rooftop. I mean, I like the respect, right? You know that someone's on the second floor, but it's just, there's no easy way to go up there without potentially losing your own teammates. So I love this like very slow and methodical method of effectively just sort of keeping them locked in. But for how long can they do this for? They gotta flush them out somehow.
And they are definitely trying. A ton of utility being lobbed through the window of the second floor, but it seems like MND Diehard, the guys are not budging at all. They are just casually sitting in the second floor. AKO Steady Squad, you gotta finish your job quickly. They even bring out the grenade launcher, but look at who's down south. It's Team Princess. So if AKO Steady Squad don't finish the job right now, Team Princess might end up being the janitor of the entire fight. And that means AKO Steady Squad, they're gonna pull the trigger. Let's get it down to Mr. D. This might be the outcome that you were foreshadowing. 2 members of AKO Steady Squad down. We're down to a 1 versus 1. Atong getting 2 kills. Injustice with a huge stage from afar. Team Princess have crashed the party, and AKO Steady Squad now trapped in the building themselves. Zero runs out the window, knows where Atong is, but look at who is coming out the second floor. It is going to be Jimmy Nyo. Zero finishes the job. MND Diehard are out, and Zero quickly jumps out the window, but Team Princess will try to hunt him down. Jimmy Nyo not able to get the shots in thanks to the glue wall blocking. Zero will be safe for now, but how long can he be safe for, as AKO Steady Squad will have to rest all of their hopes on this one last member of in the name of Zero. Team Princess trying to hunt him down. He is running into the blue zone in a desperate attempt to head towards safety. He will now tank the damage of the blue. Meanwhile, Matrix gonna take on Devora. Yeah, trying to get some points in the bag, but Rise gonna get down by Neki. Hero finally gets eliminated by Geek Fam. Matrix hightailing away from the fight as Mokka has no way out. Devora scoring some kills along their journey into the safe zone, as Matrix are now down to just 2 members, but they still are adamant to punish Devora as much as possible. Neki will surrender himself to the blue zone. He's trying to patch himself up with those medkits, and he will be able to do so for a while, but once he runs out of that resource, he will be knocked down. Of course, the blue zone will do the job. Duo Barade also under fire from Geek Fam, as Geek Fam now sits with 7 kills.
Oh man, Husky, we're actually running out of space here, but it looks like Geek Fam able to find another player. It's gonna be Zero. He managed to get out of that previous fight, but AKO finally eliminated. Now, I do believe they ended the day with 8 kills after that jump onto MND, so it's not too bad for the team. They would have liked to finish higher, but very interested to see how they rank on this leaderboard. But just very quickly, top-down view, got Duo Baradic, 2 players left alive. One of them is currently on an island. The other one is in the river. I think he just got eliminated, yes, by Fikri. Actually going to be getting that drop. And now it's just all down to this 1 player left. Akims for Duo Baradic. He's the one to try and get those placement points for his team. But how do you even safely get onto the mainland? I don't think you do.
You just have to play time, and there's no more time left. Duo Barade expires in the hands of Geek Fam. 10 kills for the team. Metrics still in the game, so good news for Metrics. One of their closest contender has been knocked out first. And it's a good way to start the round. Team Princess now finds Geekfam in their crosshairs, but these two teams have full control of the circle. It really comes down to where this next circle is gonna surround. But for Geekfam, they are certainly in a pretty comfortable position, same as Team Princess. Metrics will be in the firing zone alongside Devora, who is trying to go for the backstab, but Cyber just ends up taking out to the blue zone, as Metrics will be spotted by Team Princess. Troop hiding behind a tree as Exac does get the drop onto Riven, and the last circle quickly in control of by Geekfam. Troop also spotted out as well. Orin does get shot from behind thanks to the members of Team Princess, but Geekfam are very persistent, and they find themselves the last member of Metrics. So Metrics will be out in third place. This is the final showdown, 4 versus 4 between Geekfam and Team Princess. Can Team Princess do some sort of damage? Geekfam have the best possible compound to work with. The nades are starting to get thrown in. Orin does have the grenade launcher to work as well, and he will act as the barricade for the team. Laying down the super walls, trying to build a maze for Team Princess to traverse to. Ijaser going a long way towards the flank. It's going to come face to face with Man04. Can he win the Star Duelist? Yes, he can! Man04 down, and Agent 004 will be eliminated. Geekfam down to 3 members. Backup is coming through though. Can Ijaser finish the job? Seems like he should be able to do so, but those blue walls expire. Oh, backup is there, but Ijaser takes out victory. Team Princess making a lot of work onto Geekfam, and maybe they can steal the show and steal the spotlight. Geekfam not really out of the woods just yet. Orin is still alive, but Team Princess have the man advantage. Can Geekfam pull off a miracle win? He just turns the corner, runs into Orin, but he has backup on Alpha XR. Alpha XR loses the fight though, and he will in fact get knocked down, but it is just not sufficient. Team Princess somehow wins the final duel in a rare victory for Team Princess. They get the booyah over Geekfam.
Hey, okay, that was not a rare moment, but clearly MVP goes to Ijatsu. The fact that he was able to get those 2 back-to-back knocks with his shotgun, and he got some big fat shots with the shotgun as well. Like, normally Man04, right? I mean, we've seen so many times. Man04 is the king of close quarter combat, but he just got hit with 1 big fat shotgun shot in your face. Like, what do you do if you get 1 shot? You can't do it. You can't counter a 1 shot.
Yeah, and certainly the hero for Team Princess, right? It's definitely a rare sight. I mean, we saw Man04 lose a 1 versus 1 duel 2 rounds in a row. Maybe today might not be his day. Not that it matters to Geekfam too much, but it's great to see those teams standing up to him. Team Princess made really good calls. They were able to somehow survive that final stage, considering the fact that they had to run straight into Geekfam with all of those glue walls and compound that is completely in control of Geekfam. Winning that means a lot to Team Princess.
Yeah, and it's a big thing for Team Princess as well, right? Because the team has done not so well during their first 2 opening matches. And of course, they're not competing for first place, but they do want to try and stay ahead of Blacklist, because I know we opened the day, I think Blacklist was literally like 1 point behind Team Princess. So they were on the verge of actually losing their spot, and that's going to be a lot of money as well. So we'll see if they're going to finish the day with a big fat chunk of points. It's hard to say at this point. We'll have to see what happens. It's going to be on Bermuda this time though, so we're going to be seeing a lot more early game action. I know on that map it was a little bit, I mean, it's purgatory. It's generally a little bit slower than compared to Bermuda per se, but was there any moments, do you feel, in some of these kills you feel that were quite surprising, Husky?
Surprising kills? Not really, but I think
it felt like it was to be expected, right? Like we saw a lot of those matchups where it's like, oh, okay, these guys normally grab each other early.
There are not really surprising kills, but there certainly are moments that are impactful towards the overall results, and this is one of it, right? Team Princess showing up to this party set up by, it started with New Gang trying to flush up MND Diehard. AKO join, and they corral both MND Diehard and New Gang, and Team Princess comes in and mops the floor with the remaining survivors. So that really was huge, because Team Princess walked out of this with kills and 0 deaths. If Team Princess ended up going down here, I think Geekfam certainly would have won the round hands down. But kudos to Team Princess for making the right call. They were able to get some free kills, and of course AKO, they went out with 8 kills as well. So kudos to them. In fact, AKO should have a huge morale boost. You know, the past few play days that they had were not really the best, so this is certainly one of the better rounds.
Oh, it was one of the better rounds for the team. They're going to be really happy with themselves as well. I mean, this last fight, it looked so convincing after they got those 2 knocks on GeekFam. And Ijatsu, it just played such a big role for this team, especially with the shotgun. But Team Princess going to be very happy with themselves. Now, unfortunately, they will lose out in the points department. I think this was... I was sitting here and I was thinking, like, do they get enough points? Because I did see GeekFam having at least 10 going into this late game. And they got 12 compared to Team Princess's 7. Now, we didn't really see Team Princess actively looking for kills that round. So, as you can see, that's probably one of the main reasons why they didn't really get too many kill points. But AKO's steady squad, 13 points. I think they're going to be pretty happy with their performance in this round. Okay, but, there's a big but. Metrics are able to finish the round with 9 points. So, essentially, offsetting AKO's efforts to a mere 4-point advantage.
And at the same time, you can see the duo Barade, they got 8 points, but their rival, also their rival got 9 points, so the lead has been extended just by a little bit. This is worse news for No Escape Umbrella because they were really banking on Metrics having a bad round to even have a chance to catch up, and now that chance has completely been extinguished by Metrics' performance. And you can
I think
see
at
that
this rate, it's like none, right? I don't think
Yeah.
there's any way that they're going to be able to make that comeback.
Metrics, they play a pretty smart game, right? Yesterday, they went all out, they hunted down Duo Barade for all 4 rounds, and today we saw them not going for those hot draws. In fact, they just play as safe as possible. They know that if they just don't get knocked out, as the first 4 teams to get eliminated, they will be able to get some placement points and perhaps some kill points to go with it and secure their spots in the top 12.
Yeah, well, we have to remember as well, right? Like when you go for hot drops, there's always going to be that risk where you're the team that's going to lose that engagement. And that means that you are going to end in last place with maybe 1 or 2 kills, if you're lucky 3. But to end like that, especially with metrics, you do not want to end in last place. So I think just playing like this, far safer, just guarantee your place. Even if you just grab a couple of points, like those points are offsetting what your opponents need to make up to catch up. But if anything, we'll just have to see what happens. For all we know, we could see a team just finish around with 30 points. It has happened in the past, but it is so incredibly rare. As you can see, I'm currently wishing for it. We'll see if my wish will come true. But Husky, I do believe we're going to go for a quick break.
Yep, absolutely. 3 more rounds to go before we find out our top 12 grand finalists. But until then, we will take a break for a while as I need to catch my breath. We'll be back after 5 minutes. See you then.
Masing-masing masih lagi belum mengalah dalam permainan kita. Kedua-dua pasukan berusaha untuk mendapatkan kemenangan. Siapakah di antara mereka peserta ataupun Mr. Wega yang akan memenangi cabaran kali ini?
Anda sedang menonton rancangan permainan Free Fire Challengers Malaysia dan kami host anda, my name is Mustachio AJ bersama dengan Haji Yat, dan untuk menggemburkan episod kepada kali ini, kita ada pasukan B iaitu GeekFam yang akan berlawan dengan Encik Wega. Jangan lupa untuk mengundi salah satu daripada 5 ganjaran milestone penonton yang bakal anda terima sekiranya para pemain menang.
Untuk kedudukan sekarang ini, Mr. Wega ketinggalan 10 mata di belakang para peserta kita. Pasukan Blacklist berusaha keras nak menang untuk round yang ketiga ini sebenarnya. Apakah perasaan Mr. Wega kita ketika ini? Mr. Wega, silakan. Saya rasa saya boleh baca apa yang dikatakan oleh Mr. Wega tu.
Man of very few words, Haji.
Ya.
Pihak lawan dia hari ni agak bersemangat juga.
Pandai.
Cabaran bagi episod ini adalah The Epic Airdrop. Airdrop amat berharga tetapi sukar diperolehi. Sambut bola oren untuk mengumpul 1 mata dan elak bola putih yang akan menyebabkan 1 mata ditolak.
Pasukan GeekFam akan menentang Mr. Wega dengan tangannya diikat.
Let the game begin.
Round 1.
Yes! Jauh je.
The teamwork is absolutely solid, Haji. Mereka sedang mencuba.
Hampir di situ.
Tangkapan bola yang amat bagus tetapi
baru satu saja. Hampir. Okey, tu.
Okey, 2, 3.
Tiga, 2, 1.
Haji. Apa ni Haji? Terlalu senang pula.
24 mata kedudukan ketika ini semakin jauh meninggalkan Mr. Wega. Tengok macam kurang meyakinkan, apa pun kita cakapkan good luck lah untuk Mr. Wega.
Absolutely
Kali
good
ini
luck.
giliran dia. 1, 2, 3. Aduh Mr. Wega. Come on Mr. Wega.
This is amazing. How is this penguin getting it done? Oh, double action, Mr. Wagger with the blue eyes Wagger.
3, 2, 1.
Airdrop specialist. Oh my good, Haji.
Ya.
Ni, 1, 2,
Wow.
3.
Wow.
Oh my god, 4,
Wow.
5,
Wow.
6. Apa ni? Solo versus duo pun Mr. Wagger confirm menang.
So menjadikan 16 mata buat Mr. Wega. Kembali bersama Wheel of Misfortune.
Dan untuk memusing roda musibah kita, kita ada ejen Ali daripada Blacklist International.
Yeah.
Alright. Ali tadi dah kena kan? If you're ready, please. Musibah besar. Musibah besar. Musibah yang amat besar. Alright.
Nice choice Ali, nice
Perfect
choice.
punishment, Ali. Thank you very much, sir. We will call you back in a bit. Okey, musibah yang amat besar, tuan-tuan dan puan-puan. Kerana balon dia pun agak besar sikit, Haji.
Ya, dan air dia pun akan ditambah.
Ah.
So kalau kena, kepala dia mungkin boleh pecah dan mereka akan basah kuyup.
Alright, boys.
Alright, I'm ready.
Boys, you ready, yeah?
Okay. Whoa.
Alright, opportunity. Oh, and the battle rages on. Oh, King manages to get one, tetapi tolak satu markah hijau.
Dia tangkap bola
Tangkap
air.
bola putih.
Lima. Oh, dapatnya Akik on fire.
Absolutely,
Oh.
okay, on fire. Tetapi terkena juga air.
Yang terkena juga ayah. Elok tu handsome sikit. So kita akan tambah mata mereka 5 lagi.
Alright,
Menjadikan 29. Mr. Wega, adakah anda dah bersedia?
Woo!
Wow. 1, 2, 3.
Mr. Wagger is ready, and just like us, we are also prepared for the final 3 rounds of the Free Fire Challengers Malaysia group stage. Yes, 3 more rounds until we find out who our 12 grand finalists will be. Some of them have already locked in their spots, and some of them are still hanging in the balance. My name is Husky. Alongside me is Dana Lee, and we are super excited to see what is going to happen in the final 3 matches.
It's really exciting because we're already starting to see some of the storylines unfold for some of these teams. We know that there's the race to 12. There's another race for teams in the middle of the bracket to make that climb to earn some more money going into the grand final. And then, of course, there's also the typical storyline of Geek Fam just crushing the competition and just stealing the points away from everyone else, which... why not? Yeah, if you're in first place, just extend your lead. Make sure no one's going to be touching your hoard of treasure. And so far, they're doing a fantastic job.
And I think for Geek Fam, it is you can never get enough of emphasizing how important this is for them. Other than proving that they are still the best team in Malaysia, it also proves that no matter how long they're away from, when a team is good and when a team puts in effort, they can always remain at the top. I think this is a good way to return to the competitive scene from an extended hiatus, and it's also a very good way to prove that everyone out there that you cannot ever forget about Geek Fam, even for just a bit. Blacklist International was the closest contender, and even they are kind of suffering right now. Todak is performing slightly better than them, and of course, Blacklist International will always be the top contenders, but perhaps their prime time isn't this league stage.
Yeah, if anything, they're the kings of consistency. Our favorite word during our previous tournaments. We love this word, consistency. But it's such a perfect way to describe these winning teams, right? Like, if you are a strong team, you're going to be able to always play at a certain level, and at this level, it's not just average, okay? It's not just like, oh, fine, we'll finish in the middle of the pack. No, good teams are able to consistently put out good performances, and that's what Geek Fam is. If anything, they're a shining example of a team that's always able to place top 3. So if anything, we'll see if they're able to finish off the day with another top 3 placement, or if we might see a little bit of an upset. But let's drop in Husky. Are there any hot drops?
Oh, I'm looking at Duo Barade. Metrics. Where are you at, Metrics? Okay, you're not there. Metrics is not dropping alongside Duo Barade. Good riddance. In fact, they are going for a very late drop, so I would expect Metrics to be somewhere Riverside or towards Shipyard. I think they are going somewhere alongside Riverside. Maybe even Mill. They might run into Devora though. That could make for an interesting opener. Devora.
Like
Okay, there we go. Metrics, they will end up at Mill. In fact, Duo Barade are in the middle of the map. This is slightly worrying. For Geek Fam, they always drop at Clock Tower, so no surprise there. But for Duo Barade, let's see if they can survive this, because they are literally in the middle of the battlefield.
Yeah, they're right next to Epic, and not just that, they're also very, very close to AKO. So if any of these teams sort of sniff out that Duo Barade is here, we could be in for a little bit of a very early fight. Because remember, guys, we're playing on Bermuda, and from all the maps that you can play for Free Fire, Bermuda is the smallest, and it's going to be the most action-packed. And speaking of action, we could be seeing some very, very soon, because New Gank are actually right on the edge here, just skirting around Hero. But I don't know if they're going to be able to skirt around fast enough, because look at this, they're actually going to run towards Hero now. Oh boy.
And New Gang are very far from one another. Well, they do have someone playing that long range, but they're not really pulling the trigger just yet. In fact, New Gang calling the whole engage off. They don't want to take the risk just yet, which I definitely agree with. They still need to get as much resources as possible. I don't think that there is any need to be too proactive in the sense. In fact, these two teams are only fighting for for the position in the leaderboard, right? It's more about the prize pool than the qualifications into the grand finals. But the two teams that have always been locking hit, with one team clearly besting the other, is Geek Fam and Secret Expert. And again, if this is the last round for both of these teams, if Secret Expert can just beat Geek Fam, just wipe out Geek Fam, no matter how much it takes for them to do so, that would be the perfect ending to this anime arc.
Don't tell me this is Taken. Is this Taken?
Oh yeah, it is Taken.
Oh god. If Taken gets eliminated from Secret Expert, I think that's basically game over for the team, because Taken plays such a pivotal role for Secret Expert. Like, he's their sniper, he's their big damage dealer. We'll take a look at it a little bit later on, but seems like New Gank, they're smelling blood. They weren't able to get the drops, so asserting dominance for now, but nothing too big for this team. But I really want to go back to Secret Expert. I need to know what's happening. Like, are Geek Fam still pursuing Taken?
Yeah, I think, you know, in between Metrics hot dropping Duo Barade 4 rounds in a row and a Secret Expert constantly losing to Geek Fam, I think the latter hurts more. You know, the fact that throughout the entire league stage, Geek Fam has been kind of beating the crap out of you every time they run into you. But so far, Secret Expert are not on the radar. They have completely disengaged. Geek Fam are not pursuing at all. So these two teams get to play a little bit longer. But New Gank might spot out a member of EWG who is... What is he doing?
I think he just ran in the wrong direction.
Why is there like one guy from EWG? Is he sunbathing? He could be.
I feel like he's baiting. Like, just baiting so the rest of his team can get away, but it looks like he'll be able to get away too. Wait,
so
is it just
far.
Is he alone?
Yeah, he is
Oh my
alone.
gosh.
what? Pretty interesting. Oh boy, look at that. Look at the map. Metrics. It's Metrics and Duo Barade.
Oh
They
my
are
gosh.
about to engage in combat. Well, they have already engaged in combat, and Akim is about to run into everyone from Metrics. Oh boy, his back is turned, and that's the first member of Duo Barade completely taken out. Caught off guard with his pants down, and Metrics gets first blood. This is not looking good for Duo Barade. They did not want to run into Metrics, and somehow fate is a cruel mistress. But MND Diehard knocked out two members on Geek Fam. We're gonna check in on that later on, because we know Geek Fam probably would win this fight. Duo Barade are at great risk of losing their chances of qualifying to top 12 if Metrics takes them out right now, and Metrics knows that that's the risk that they're running and they are willing to commit to the fight. Riven is down low, but Dua Barade are not looking too healthy as well. Rich just gets a good swing. Can he finish off right? Yes, he can. More challenges to come through. Rich going for a challenge. He does have glue wall to work with, still surviving with 59 health. Breaks the glue wall, but ends up losing the gunfight. It is all down to Kaiser. What do you have left in the tank? Kaiser with the swing, but neither gets finisher. Metrics goes down. Kaiser, your hero for Dua Barade. They survive with 2 members, but the most important part is that they take out Metrics.
Oh, okay, that's very big for Dua Barade. But, okay, there's a very big but. Firstly, Geek Fam are currently bleeding, so Fikri's bleeding out. This is going to be a terrible game for Geek Fam. But secondly, this might be the chance or the opening for that 12th place to actually be open. Because Metrics, yes, of course they take out, they were hoping at least to be able to knock out Dua Barade, which didn't happen. Oh my gosh. Storylines, Husky, storylines are happening.
Yeah, it might just happen, right? These 2 teams are in the same group as well, so they have a fair share of getting into that 12th spot. Obviously, Metrics still have a pretty firm hold on that position. If Dua Barade survives long enough, and the best case scenario is they get a booyah. With 2 members, it does seem pretty hard because there are still some heavy hitters from Group B, but chances are looking better compared to the previous round. Geek Fam are not really in the forefront of this round anymore, considering that they did lose 3 members to MND Diehard, which is pretty unexpected. But for MND Diehard, it doesn't really matter too much to them. They just want the placements on the leaderboard and ruin other people's chances, right? These 3 points are effectively stolen points.
Yeah. If anything, I've got my eyes open now for No Escape to potentially make this comeback. Because this is also going to help them, right? Like we're always talking about Dua Barade, how they're maybe going to be able to take Metric spot away from them. But we've got another team that's also competing for the spot, and they're actually far closer than Dua Barade at this point of time. So it's really interesting to see how these these last games, that assuming this one, let's say this one's finished, right? The next 2 games after this is going to be so crucial for that race towards 12th place.
You see the 3 rivals fighting, duking it out in the final 2 rounds. How poetic it is to be able to see that race conclude in the final hours of this league stage. For MND Diehard, they are still not done yet. They really want to take out Orin, but he's not making it easy for them. We saw Secret Expert drive by and also passing by the members of MND Diehard, who effectively completely ignored that. They didn't want to cause any extra commotions, and I don't think Secret Expert want to be a part of that as well. So this would be a very slow death for Orin.
Yeah, I'm surprised he actually showed himself, right? Like I thought he might just sort of hope that MND leave him alone, then he could just sort of run in slowly, because it's only this is only one of the first 2 circles, so it's not so painful. It's normally circle number 3 and 4 where it really, really starts to get painful.
He's running pretty dry on resources as well. 3 medkits, 2 glue walls, and I think 2 grenades, and he has been spotted. So MND Diehard will now track him down. The Bloodhounds have been let loose, and Atong, he is going straight for Orin. If Orin wins this fight, he can at least get a point for Geek Fam. But Atong is feeling it. Orin's back is completely exposed. The first shot does miss though, and Orin, oh boy, still getting tagged down to 50% of his health. He's gonna drop the first blue wall. And remember, he only has 2 blue walls to work with. And with that first one drop, he doesn't really have much protection left. So MND Diehard will continue to hunt him down. Miles himself is sustaining damage from a third party. And will Atong continue this chase? So it seems like he has given up, at least for now. So Orin should be able to make that very long rotation. But Atong changed his mind. He actually wants to, end Geek Fam right here.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting that they really want to pursue for this kill. I mean, maybe it's just they're worried that if they leave Orin, he could just turn on them when their backs are turned, and he could potentially pop a couple heads. So it is a little bit risky to sort of leave this kind of a player alone. But the commitment's there, though. They must be angry, right? Like MND must be thinking like, oh, we're so sick of being bullied by you guys. Like, we need to get this redemption kill.
Yeah, and Orin, he is trying to cross through Observatory, but MND Diehard have 3 members positioned around that area, and they see Orin again. And throughout this entire pursuit, Orin has no time or space to even reap or gather resources. He might be able to do so around Observatory because there are a lot of buildings to work with, but judging by how persistent MND Diehard have been so far, Orin, he doesn't have time to even stop. So only have one glue wall left to work with, just as how we started. Now we see Duo Barate taking on Devora. That's 4 members against 2. Duo Barate at a huge disadvantage. And even though they took out Metrics, they still need to survive for as long as possible. And Kimmy is not in a good spot. Was able to dodge the final few bullets from Jim Quest. He was able to drop down the glue wall and recover some of those HP, but Devora have their eyes on the prize. If Duo Barate gets knocked out right now, the earlier fight that they won against Metrics wouldn't matter as much.
I'm not sure if Kimmy's going to be able to get out of this though. It's 4 versus 1, and I think they're just going to use Kimmy as a distraction, right? Like, just take a look at where Kimmy's running. He's running back out into the zone, and his teammates actually run deeper within, just to guarantee his safety. So Devora is actually going to give up on this pursuit as well. So it looks like Duo Barate is actually going to be able to maintain their 2-man roster for now. So it's good news for them, but it's still going to be pretty difficult for Duo Barate to really get much done in this game. Like, it's all going to just come down to whatever they can get for placement points.
And you have to hope that other teams start dropping soon, or else Duo Barate will constantly find themselves in a very tough position. Thankfully, Devora decided to show mercy and, you know, practice a bit of discipline. They decided to beeline their way into the circle instead of pursuing for these kills. It's not really worth it because they run the risk of losing members along the way. So for Devora, even though they are very far away from 12th spot, they still do their best to, you know, maintain a very composed playstyle, and that's something that I think a lot of teams might not be able to show us as often, especially when you are put in a spot where qualifications is out of questions. But maybe for Devora, they decided that, you know, to play the rest of the game, the rest of the round out to the best of their abilities.
And so far, it looks like it's going to be 2 lone horses here. We got Duo Bradix, lone horse, and Orin slowly making their way back into the safe zone. So I think these 2 players, they must be so happy that they were able to survive the circumstances. But speaking of circumstances, we actually have a lot of teams in a very small area, and I think we're going to be having a lot of bloodshed here, Husky.
Kimmy survived pursuit of Devora, found a car and drove right into MND Diehard and gets a knock onto Atong. I love this opening from Kimmy, but remember, Duo Barate, they cannot just go for these 1 versus 1 for 1 trades. They need to survive. And with the blue zone closing in, Kimmy is effectively trapped. Can he down Mouse though? Kimmy, he is a star player for Duo Barate, and this is where he needs to show his utmost proficiency in those gunfights. It is very hard in a 1 versus 3, and Zero will shut the show down. Shah steals it away from AKO Steady Squad, but Duo Barate are not out just yet. There is still 1 more survivor for the team, and it is now down to him to keep Duo Barate alive in this round.
Yeah, but Duo Barate, though, they at least were able to cripple MND, right? They got that 1 little pickup, so they got a kill for themselves. NWG, though, currently being harassed by Epic, and look at this, Epic are just... they're driving circles all around MND, and I don't really know what you can... Sorry, not MND, against New Gang. And it looks like New Gang, though, actually getting it dropped. Ooh, Keppa, nice shots there, able to finish him off too. And they found Orin! What's Orin doing here?
And oh no, big guy, not like this. He blew himself up with a grenade launcher. And that should spell the
Oh, I think it's Dregs. I thought it was Orin for a second there. I was so confused.
The UMP, alright. There's a first drop and put the blue wall for the secure kill onto Ashen. The Dregs still able to do some damage to the members of Epic, but a good flick from Sega ends it for New Gang. Epic finds 5 points for themselves. The Team Princess now shows up on the map, and they will take on MND Diehard. Trixie gets a trade back onto Eject Sir, but MND Diehard already has 2 members on the ground. Alpha XR hides behind the truck and was able to revive Eject Sir, as Jiminho will kind of come in to provide some assistance as well. I think MND Diehard only left with 1 member, and that's going to be Shah. They were able to cripple Geek Fam, and Team Princess will thank them for their efforts later on down the road. But for now, they got to take care of MND Diehard, and we also have a member of Secret Expert somewhere near there. So things are looking pretty dicey for MND Diehard and Secret Expert. But Team Princess will decide to completely back off. They've done enough damage. It's time to make boat towards the safe zone. And unfortunately, Kaiser has spotted by Neki, so Duo Barate's run might end earlier than they expected. Just gotta hope that some other teams gets knocked out before he does.
I'm not sure if they're going to actually have that opening at all. But so far, it looks like AKO are currently under heavy fire here by Hero. And so far, it's not looking too good for AKO. They're about to lose Moon. Zero's about to go down as well. It's only 2 players left for AKO. In Hero, they're currently surrounded. Nua Baratic looks like they're going to be going down in 10th place. And Hero will be finished off by AKO. So big victory here for AKO, but they lost 2 members in the process.
Unfortunate for Duo Barade. Just a fraction of a second could have made a difference in placement points.
Yeah.
And Die Hard and Hero, if they just took a bit too long to die, that's definitely going to sting for Duo Barade. They did get 5 points, so that's a consolation prize, but no placement point. That's the kicker right there. Well, at least I think 1 placement point, if I'm not mistaken. Team Princess, they do find Devora, and they also found a very isolated Ash on the northern side. We have Secret Expert completely fanned out. One of them is in the water for some reason, so it's pretty weird for Secret Expert as of now. Team Princess again getting a draw on Park Haji. That's going to be Jimmy Neo taking the kill. Orin is still in the game, and as I say that, Tua will snipe him on the bike, and that's going to be the end of Geek Fam in 6th place.
Jinxed a Husky. I'm sorry.
Unfortunate.
Yeah, it was very unfortunate, but I think at this point these teams are going to be very happy that Geekfam's out of the picture now, because you have eliminated effectively the strongest team amongst the competition. So the second strongest team so far is going to be Team Princess, but we're going to be busy looking at EWG. AKO Steady Squad going to be eliminated there by EWG. Very unfortunate for them. They would have loved to secure more points, but here is the final safe zone, Husky, and it's in favor of Team Princess.
And you can see that Devora, they are inching forward as well. You have EWG on the northern side, but they are crippled in terms of members. Same as Secret Experts. So Ash will be taking some kids from Luck GZ, playing from the low ground, but they do have some decent cover. The question is, will Secret Expert go for the backstab? It is still possible. And of course, the last surviving member has to be taken. The sniper god from the side of Secret Expert. He's the sniper elite, if I may put it. And there's going to be a tough fight, though. He has to be very patient with his shots. And oh, he sees one. It's going to be Alpha XR. Crosshair lined up. Alpha XR down, but he has to go to Jimmy Neo, and Jimmy Neo is looking at him. Jimmy Neo! Oh, you're not paying attention. He goes for the revive of the Alpha XR, but thankfully there's a glue wall. Alpha XR will try to go for the revive, and now the rest of Team Princess are here. They want to take out Taken, and Taken was not able to get any sort of secure kills, and he is completely exposed.
No.
And he'll be eliminated by the blue zone. So Team Princess, they don't get any points for their trouble, and EWG on the other side will be knocked out. We'll have Tua knocked down. Lucky Easy continues to turn their attention back onto the members of Devora. A good blue wall to prevent the nade from exploding onto him. And EWG left with 2 members alive. Fall and Mantai. Can they pull some sort of miracle? The glue wall is protecting them, but also also trapping them with that blue zone as well. Devora with 3. Throwing out those nades. It's going to be Team Princess trying to push in, and Cyber goes for the rush but ends up dying to Jimmy Neo. Jim Quite's going to be the second one to make contact. That glue wall is not going to stand. He has a secondary one that he puts up. That nade goes wide, and now Jim Quite goes for the peek. Was able to tag the member of Team Princess just by a bit, but not enough. Team Princess are in prime position to get the booyah, and they might just be able to do so with all 4 members still alive. Ejaster turns his attention to the members of EWG, but he also has Devora in his line of sight. That glue wall is going to isolate those gunfights, so Ejaster can focus on Devora. The rest of Team Princess are slowly coming in. The circle is slowly closing in. There's no more safe zone to work with. It is the final stand. Fall takes down Nikki. Devora is out. EWG completely overwhelmed by Team Princess, and they will finish the round with a booyah in 8 kills.
And this is what happens when Geekfam gets eliminated. The next crown prince in line is going to get the booyah. It's Team Princess. They're going to be very happy with themselves. It was a very if anything, very patient game from Team Princess. We didn't really see these guys actively looking for kills. Like, so far, we noticed that earlier on in the season, this team was a little bit more bloodthirsty. They were more active for those kills, but now they sort of chilled out. They've sort of slowed down, and they just realized that, okay, if we've already secured these placement points, all we need to do now is to capitalize on the late game. Easiest way to do it is to let the competition kill themselves, and that's what they did.
Yeah, and Team Princess ends their run in the league stage on a high note with a booyah. And that's the end of Group B for our league stage, and certainly have proven to be one of the strongest group in the second half of the group stage. Obviously, Geekfam didn't end the round on a high note. They finished 6th place, but could you believe it? Their worst performance is 6th place, and their second worst is 2nd place. So Enough said.
Consistency. I
Consistency.
mean, we said it, right? Consistency. If you're able to consistently perform well, I don't really think it matters if you finish like what 6th place once every 4 games.
Yeah, absolutely. But the last 2 rounds will be between Group A and Group C, and that's where the story gets super interesting. 3 teams vying for the 12th place. Metrics currently still in 12th place. They have no escape umbrella, trying to catch up at least. And Duo Barade having a fairly decent round, but a fraction of a second costed them a couple of placement points. But now these 3 teams will pit against each other, and we will find out who will be the team that makes it into the grand finals.
Yeah, and it's not going to be an easy round as well for these next 2 games, because you think like, oh, it's not Group B anymore. They don't have to worry about Team Princess. They don't have to worry about Geek Fam. There's still other teams they have to worry about. I mean, we've got 3 major teams in Group A. So it's not going to be an easy series of games at all, but it's all going to come down to a little bit of luck and, of course, a lot of strategy and how they sort of approach these fights, whether they choose to go up against some of these bigger teams. Heck, if anything, you'd even argue RNG, right? It's like, are you going to run into X team, Y team? Like, are you trying to gun for particular teams that you feel are weaker and easier kills to get rather than trying to go for these big dogs?
I think going for the easier kills is definitely a clearer option for some of these teams, but they aren't really that much easy kills.
There's no such thing as easy kill, but
right, there's no such thing as easy kills.
If you know what I mean, right?
Yeah. But we did see some pretty interesting fights in this round. One being Geek Fam losing out to MND Diehard. We had Team Princess with the Booyah. We had Duo Barade finally giving Metrics a taste of their own medicine. But at the end of the day, it didn't make too much of a difference, and I think that's the most unfortunate part for Duo Barade. They had the best possible opening, but they could not kind of finish it on a good note. And we have this one as well, Taken getting 2 massive shots.
This one was scary. Yeah, it's not just that though. Imagine EWG was actually trying to rain hell down on Team Princess at the same time. Then I think we could have actually seen Taken do a lot more damage. It was just the fact that Team Princess, they didn't have to worry about anything except just Taken, that they could just turn all their attention onto him, and he wasn't really able to get anything else out of it. But speaking of teams, here is our round standings for our 4th match of the day. Group B versus C on Bermuda. Team Princess with 20 points, top of the leaderboard, followed by EWG with 13 and Devora with 10 points.
And of course, you have Epic with 9 points. Geek Fam and AKO Steady Squad both got 8 points. MND Diehard and Secret Expert both get 7 points. Duo Barade, gets a 6-point increment. Hero gets 3. Metrics still ended with 2 as they were able to kill 2 members of Duo Barade by the end of that fight. And New Gang gets 1 kill points as well. So the Duo Barade didn't really make too much progress with this round, but I suppose any increment of points is going to be a small step, but they only have 2 rounds left, so it is definitely crunch time for them, for Metrics, and for the upcoming No Escape Umbrella hailing from Group A. Again, that's the end of the Group B run in our league stage, and they certainly put up a super good show.
I'm really looking forward to this next matchup because of the addition of a No Escape Umbrella, because we know it's not just Duo Baradic, but it's also No Escape. But I think at this point, would you say it's like all No Escape Umbrella now to try and take this away from Metrics? Because I think at this point, Duo Baradic are probably out of the running. Because when I did the math coming into these 2 games just now, Duo Baradic needed to accumulate 40 points at the end of today, just going off of what happened already.
Yeah, I would certainly think the same as well, right? Duo Barade they need 2 miraculous rounds where they get an average of 20 points per round and have both Metrics and No Escape Umbrella finish 11 and 12, with 0 kill points as well.
Yeah.
That's a tall task. The stars need to align, and so far we haven't seen that happen to any teams just yet. So No Escape Umbrella, they are in a better spot. We are going to be able to take a peek at the overall standings later on. That should give us a clearer idea of where No Escape Umbrella stands in this race against Metrics. Do they have enough room to catch up to Metrics? Because the last standing that we were able to see, Metrics are 20 points ahead of No Escape Umbrella. And No Escape Umbrella were not able to play any rounds just now, so Metrics should have a better increment from round 3 and 4. But Team Princess, very impressive. They got both Booyahs on round 3 and 4. Geek Fam getting the one in round 1, and Toda getting the one on round 2. So effectively, Group B finished the league stage with 3 out of 4 Booyahs for themselves.
Yeah, it's a pretty happy day for the teams in Group B. But of course, we're not done yet, ladies and gentlemen. We still have 2 more games to go, and it's going to be from Teams A versus B, Groups A versus B. And again, we're going to be returning to Purgatory, our final game of Purgatory during the league stage. But before then, let's take a look at the overall standings. Now, Geek Fam going to be finishing off the league stage with 466 points, almost 100 points over Todak.
Not able to set a new record for the total amount of for the highest amount of points by the end of the league stage, but still a very impressive feat from Geek Fam considering the level of competition in FFCM. But let's take a look at Metrics, No Escape Umbrella, and Duo Berade. Metrics sits in 12th place with 208 points. No Escape Umbrella with 177 points in 13th place.
It's very possible.
So they need 31 points to
I think it's
catch
possible.
up. Yeah, Duo Berade needs 36 points. Still possible.
Still possible, but we haven't really seen Duo Baradic finish that high, right? Because this team, unfortunately, they might get placements, but you need, I think, to be safe, these guys are going to need 18 points per round if you want to be safe. And that's kind of asking for a top 3 finish and a lot of kills.
18 points per round with the other 2 teams not getting any at all. So
yeah,
it's certainly really tough. Maybe Metrics will switch up the game again. You know, these guys have been pretty witty with how they approach some of these rounds. The first 2 rounds, they play a very standard game of Free Fire, no hot drop shenanigans. They still somehow managed to meet up with Duo Berade, and they lost that one. So this probably would change how they approach the final 2 rounds. I expect Metrics to play a bit safer, just get the placement. No need for any kills, right? As long as you survive to top 5, top 6, get some placement points in, you have effectively locked in your 12th spot.
Yeah, I'd just play safe if I were them. But if anything, let's just let the games do the talking, right? I mean, we can theory craft as much as we want, but it's going to be down to these teams and whether or not they're going to be able to outperform their competitors, and especially Metrics, No Escape Umbrella, and Duo Baradic, because essentially all eyes are on these guys to determine who is going to get that last slot going into the grand final. Because looking at the rest of the leaderboard, more or less confirmed. I think the only changes we could be seeing is maybe a swap in position between Epic and Sorry Raw. Maybe also another swap in position between AKO Steady Squad and EWG. But it's going to come down to these games and how well these teams perform. But before we jump into this, our MVP for our games on maps 3 and 4 is going to go to 0 from AKO Steady Squad. 5 total kills, 2 assists, 2,043 damage with a 32.1% hit rate.
Yeah. In comparison to all the other MVPs that we had, this definitely feels a bit lackluster. But overall, I think for Zero himself, this is a milestone that he can be proud of. Not only is he crowned the MVP of map 3 and 4, he certainly pulled his weight when it mattered the most, when he was given that opportunity. And a lot of times, AKO Steady Squad have been facing the problem of being presented a chance, but somehow let it slip. Zero was able to kind of hold on to it and make sure it counts. So congratulations to Zero. AKO Steady Squad still has 2 more rounds to go. And on your point of the standings kind of changing, I want to add on Freedom Rumble and Team Princess, because Team Princess have exhausted all of their rounds. Freedom Rumble have 2 more, same as Blacklist International. They are still in the fight to get more prize money by the end of the league stage.
Yeah, so we'll have to let the teams, the players do the talking. I'm looking forward to this next matchup. It's going to be back onto Purgatory, and again, I think I've said this already. It's our last game of Purgatory. Just looking at the teams that are going to be competing in Groups A versus C, who do you think are going to be the big dogs on this map?
I'm looking at Todak for sure. I think Todak has been exceptionally consistent, barring yesterday, right? Yesterday was a very underwhelming day for Todak, but if you look at the overall standings, they are the only team who is closest to Geek Fam, and they can't catch up to Geek Fam, but Team Princess, but no other teams can catch up to them as well. And they currently have the same number of Booyah as Geek Fam, which is 8. but they have 2 more rounds to set a new record. So we'll see if Tolak can do that.
We'll see if they're going to be able to do it indeed. I'm looking forward to this game. It's going to be starting very soon. So you already made the prediction as well, right? Metrics are not going to be doing hot drops. You think they're going to be playing a little bit safer because they already know that they're relatively safe, assuming that they don't sort of bomb out for these next 2 rounds. What are you sort of looking to do if you're Dua, Baradik, and No Escape Umbrella? Because clearly it's up to these guys to actually make the moves happen now. It shouldn't really be Metrics anymore.
I think these 2 teams might need to play a bit more proactive. As risky as it sounds, the ball is in their court, right? You need to be the ones not just getting placement points, but you also need to get kills to your name to add up to that tally. Metrics can lay back, but No Escape Umbrella and Duo Bora, they have to put in a lot of rough work, which is something that is very concerning since they did not have the best record when it comes down to winning gunfights, but they have to do it nonetheless. It's kind of a Hail Mary attempt at this point. You either get good points to have a chance to qualify, or you don't qualify at all. So I would say that they kind of have nothing much to lose if we put the prize pool aside. And let's see if Purgatory is going to change some of that, because No Escape Umbrella and Duo Barade are still in the same predicament. Really inconsistent with their performance, and Metrics just outshines them at every single corner.
Yeah, that just really seems to be the case for most of these games, but let's see if they can prove us wrong. We're going to be jumping onto Purgatory, and here are our drops, and a lot of teams are actually dropping relatively early from our dropships. No, it's fine.
No, Barade. No, Freedom Rumble. Oh my goodness. Oh no. Well.
Oh.
This is not gonna end well.
Okay, wait, where's...
Yep.
Uh-oh.
Not gonna end well at all.
Oh no.
Oh, Freedom Rumble
Hang on.
are known to drop the ball sometimes. This could be it, okay?
Oh, okay.
Okay, never mind. 2 members dead. Duo Barade.
Oh, not a good start so far.
Oh, certainly not. They were able to bring Kaiser back up, but
I was actually thinking they might be able to get one of the a drop onto one of Freedom Rumble, but they just weren't able to get that angle because of I think it was the time turner that was actually blocking the shots. Oh boy.
Freedom Rumble certainly played that well. And I believe for Duo Barade, they actually can run up north to avoid this, so they only lost 1 member, which isn't the worst outcome. So they should be able to dodge Freedom Rumble. Could have been worse for for Duo Barade, for sure.
Yeah, I think they were lucky to actually get that pick up onto Kaiser, because I thought Kaiser was actually going to go down. It looked like he was just going to bleed out or die to a couple of pot shots, but hang on, I hear a vehicle.
Yeah,
oh
I
my
hear
gosh.
that. Oh no, not.
Hang on, it's just one
guy.
It's one. They might be able to get a kill here. It might be free food.
Can they get this pick off? Seems like they can't. Yeah,
I don't think they want to show themselves. Oh, hang on, I see a drop. Oh, Rish is down.
Freedom Rumble caught up. That's Rish gone. Oh, Duo Barade in such a rough spot, and they attracted the rest of MND Diehard as well. What a tragic way to go out. And they have nowhere else to go. MND Diehard is around. Oh, Freedom Rumble are crashing in. The newfound vehicle is going to leave Freedom Rumble to wipe out Duo Barade. Maybe MND Diehard can kind of sway the attention of Freedom Rumble a bit. You can see the Freedom Rumble, they are slowly backing off. They're like, alright, MND Diehard is around. It's not our fight anymore. You guys can have the rest of Duo Barade. And Kimmy is the last man standing. And we can effectively say that Duo Barade's chances are at 0%.
Yeah, absolutely gone. Unless the lobby just, just choo-choo trains in and be like, hey, take all of us. I don't think that's going to happen. Oh boy, this must be so devastating for Duo Barade as well, right? Because this is essentially the first of their last 2 games. This is literally the last hope. And to be eliminated this early, emotionally, I think it's just, you would have lost it. Just thinking like it's over.
Yeah, who could have expected them to run straight into Freedom Rumble, right? Well, Theo certainly took out one of the members. It's too fast.
Goodbye.
And I think the worst part is that Freedom Rumble was it had to be Freedom Rumble, right? Of all the teams that they went up against,
yes,
I would have taken Metrics over Freedom Rumble any day.
Well, I mean, it's not like you get to pick, right? You're just sort of dropping out of the plane and hoping that, I hope these guys don't drop in with us today.
Imagine what what it felt like for the members of Duo Barade. They just look around and they see 4 guys from Freedom Rumble just following them. You're like, guys, I think we're in trouble.
No,
And Freedom Rumble
if
had
I
to
was-
find a car.
Look, hang on. If I was to Barade, okay, I'd be thinking, if I saw 4 guys dropping right next to my team, I would have thought it was Matrix. Because it's happened so many times, I think they would have been conditioned to think like, okay, this must be Matrix. I think we have a chance. And that's probably why they like very, very quickly shot back. But as soon as they saw it was Freedom Rumble, they were like, oh my God, this was just a massive mistake.
Metrics and No Escape Umbrella will be able to chill. As one of their competition is out of the race.
But
The last
you
round,
know, hang on, Husky. You know someone's not going to be chilling in a moment? Metrics and Epic up towards the northern side of the map.
if you are No Escape Umbrella, I know they can't, no, they don't see this, but if they can, they will certainly want Metrics to lose this one. As even Epic, they are, slowly inching towards Metrics, and Metrics are not in the best formation. They have 1 member isolated. Coco with a nasty shot from afar. That's 2 glue walls expended, and that's the only 2 glue walls that Mocha has. But thankfully, they were able to bring Riven back up, but it also means that Epic will now get a boost in confidence and perhaps pursue for more. So Metrics, they need to continue running. They thought that playing at most house is the safest option, but it seems like with Epic's presence, it might not be the case. Hero going for a good one onto Neptune as Iman finds him. The next spot tries to provide assistance, but look at Iman, he is so quick. The dexterity on this man is unparalleled. The rest of Hero are coming in as well. Freedom Rumble, it doesn't feel like they're responding to this. Freedom Rumble looks so lost. Siga will get the drop onto Rai. That's from Epic as Iman will get the nade onto Export as well. Freedom Rumble only left with 1. This uncanny passiveness of Freedom Rumble is so weird. And they get knocked out by Hero.
What happened? It was like they weren't. It's like they were busy doing something else. Because it seemed like their reaction to that was very slow.
Yeah.
Is it just me?
No, you're not alone. It felt like they were not really responding. It certainly was super weird from Freedom Rumble. It felt like they just let go of their hand.
Well, I mean, who's to say they went? Maybe just like there's an itch. They just sort of like they got to scratch the itch, and it was the hand that they used to move.
It could be.
I don't know. It was just very, very uncharacteristic for Freedom Rumble because the reaction time was just so slow. And it looked like they were just going to sort of like give away Neptune and be like, all right, guys, maybe we can try and get out of this. But then they just decided to stay. I don't know what happened with Freedom Rumble that round. It was just very, very peculiar. But let's move it over to a different team instead of Freedom Rumble. We're going to take a look at Sorry Raw here as they have a pretty good view so far. They're actually going to try and take out, I believe that's Icon over there. It's Epic.
People.
It's Epic.
Yeah, it's Epic. A lot of people around this Moat House area, which is pretty surprising, right? It's not really a popular spot, but I guess a lot of teams grew to learn to play around this area. And with Sorry Raw's interference, it's good news for Metrics because now they don't have to worry too much about Epic. In fact, it's Epic in the hot seat right now with Sorry Raw trying to rush them in their own compound. Ashen does have a couple of blue ones to block off the stairway, but he is now trapped on the 2nd floor, and the rest of Epic are nowhere to be seen. They will try to make the last stand on the 2nd floor, but Donkey and the rest of his teammates will come in and wipe out Ashen at least. So Sorry Raw finds 2 kills. Meanwhile, Metrics also got 2 as well. And MND Diehard is going to be the next challenger. Can they stop Metrics? Because Metrics, they're slowly racking up some points.
They're racking up points, and also they're not eliminated, so they're going to clearly get a number of placement points if they're able to survive for much longer. But are they in a position to really stop them? I don't think so. It might have to come down to a different team to do that, and we could be seeing a new challenger to contest Metrics.
Metrics somehow was able to escape the clutches of Epic, despite one of their members, I think it was Riven or Rai, who got knocked down just now.
Yeah.
So no casualties yet. And for Epic, they have completely abandoned the mission to take down Metrics since they are crippled. On the other end, you have Icon was able to find Todak, and that's Pedro eliminated by Yun from afar. Todak now left with 3 members, and you can see that their formation indicates that they probably don't want to take this fight against Icon anymore. And Neo is going for a second one. This time it finds Spark as Todak is slowly falling apart thanks to Icon's long-range accuracy. Todak, they are using that building as their cover, but that also means that Icon identifies there's nowhere else for Todak to go. They're going to slowly inch towards Todak and perhaps finally land the final nail in the coffin as Todak are just completely trapped.
Oh dear, Husky. I think you may have actually jinxed Todak here, right? Because I remember during the broadcast you said that one of the teams you got to look out for, it's definitely Todak, but it looks like they might be taken out here by Icon of all teams. Neo is still on the floor, needs to be picked up very soon, but Icon, they're currently busy. Oh, man, actually getting clipped in the backside. Spark actually getting his revenge.
For the revive. Oh no, Blacklist drops by. Cobra just casually cruising through in his Ferrari. A couple of nades being thrown downhill, and Cobra was like, well, I'm out of this, as Chill somehow gets the kill on the Neo's plane. Goes for the chase, but Spark with a 180 to win that fight, but it was Blacklist that cleans up shop because why not? They get Todak, there's 4 kills for Blacklist, and Icon are also in a very horrible position. Blacklist International comes in at just the right time, and they find 6 points for themselves.
The standoff just took far too long and just gave Blacklist so much time to come over here and ruin the party, and ruin it they did. But we're gonna jump on over here to Sorry Raw going up against AKO. Donkey actually getting dropped there by Mr. D. Now, is there gonna be any revenge? Rajan is on the hill, but can he find an angle? I don't think he can. Mr. D is still relatively safe. This hill is just not working out for Jan.
Time Turner and some Blue Wall should do the job. Imira was going to be down by 0 once more. The MVP of the past 2 rounds is putting in a lot of work as AKO Steady Squad wins this uphill battle, or they are at least slowly winning this. I don't think Sorry Rock can go anywhere as John is going to take position in that watchtower. They still were able to get a couple of shots onto the members of AKO Steady Squad, perhaps not for long. John will make his final stand here. This is the last fight. And for Sorry Roar, it is all or nothing. Because AKO Steady Squad are making really good progress up that hill. Ajibu is already there around the shack, and he will find Sharp. That means that Sorry Roar are left with 1 member. So far, Metrics and No Escape Umbrella still in the game, but No Escape Umbrella has been really quiet. We didn't see them get any kills nor knocks. Metrics is a bit more active, so this is working in Metrics' favor for sure. And when the Die Hard finds themselves face to face with this hero as No Escape Umbrella, as I say now, they're getting sieged by Blacklist International. One of the teams that they pray that they don't have to run into. Aaron is gonna trade back onto Cobra. Maybe he can work this out. Oh, 2 HP! Able to heal himself back out with the inhaler, but he's still pretty low in terms of health, and Aaron's gonna make his way into the building. iPads from the corner, not able to get the knock. That is a crucial knock that he's looking for, and he finds Miros thanks to iPads, making the miracle work right now. Cass is gonna get knocked down. There is a glue wall being erected by iPads, playing around the Time Turner as well. He will have some time to bring his body back up as Blacklist International runs amok in the building. Error is no more. Cass is still not picked back up just yet. iPads will not survive as Ali snipes him from the back. No Escape Umbrella have their hopes completely squashed as Blacklist International. They walk away with 2 members alive, but they have 10 kills in their name.
Call the emergency line. I thought that was going to go in the way of No Escape Umbrella, because looking at how the fight initially went, I thought Blacklist were just going to absolutely lose it because they lost 2 massive players on the team. They lost Miral, they lost Cobra. I mean, not to say that Ali and Phoenix are not great players, but we know that a lot of these close quarter combats are dominated by these 2 players, but they were able to make it happen. They've eliminated No Escape, and out of everything, Blacklist are now sitting on 10 kills, which, if you take into consideration the number of teams left alive, this is actually a big win for Blacklist. I'd say even if they die now and the team gets eliminated, I think they're still going to finish in 3rd place, 2nd, even 3rd. Yeah, somewhere around there.
And that also spells the end of No Escape's Umbrella's contention for 12th place, right? Because Metrics are still in the game, and that means that there's no more chance for No Escape Umbrella to make up for in terms of points. Epic gets eliminated as well, and that means that Metrics have made it to top 5. So by the power of math, I think
By
Metrics
the
have
power
made
of
it.
Blacklist as well.
And the power of Blacklist.
If it went for
Everything
Blacklist,
lined
I
up.
think things would be different. Because No Escape, we're not doing too bad. I mean, it was a little bit of a quiet game for the team, but they could have tried to place a little bit higher later on. Of course, like, you know how it is with the late game. You're going to get more kills because there's not going to be much space to work with, but just having a team like Blacklist, it's like having Geek Fam come in, right? It's like, it doesn't matter who you are, if it's Blacklist or Geek Fam, most of the time you're not going to have a favorable engagement.
Now, Metrics still standing strong with 4 members. They are actually holding a very good spot on top of the hill. They do have a hero on one side and AKO on the other. Blacklist International right across the freeway. MND Diehard on the low ground, but you can see that Metrics are being pelted with bullets. Presumably from the members of Hero, and sure enough it is. Rai will have to try and hold back Hero as best as he could. They still have direct access into the circle, but they have to deal with teams that are coming in from behind, and certainly that's going to be Hero right now.
We'll see what happens here, but Metrics, looking to maintain their 12th place, and so far it's going to be a game of snipe, peekaboo, Pika snipe. Remind me not to make these minigame names up anymore. It's terrible nicknames, but MND so far are going to be sitting on the top of the hill. I don't think they have any idea that they're actually getting wrapped around. Hero are actually able to get through this. Oh no, MND. They just noticed way too late.
Oh, and their back was turned as well. Rai gets an easy knock, but Rai steals it away from Metrics, and you can see that Trixie is going for the challenge. This is all or nothing, and he knows he's gonna either die a hero or a martyr for his team. He's gonna choose to be the hero. Takes out Vanik, right now comes in for the challenge, and he's gonna be able to end MND Diehard's run in this round. They're gonna be out in 5th place as Hero has 8 kills to their name, as AKO 0 and Mr. D both fell to their death. I wonder what happened. How did they fall to their death? I am pleasantly surprised. 0 is bleeding out, but yeah, his team abandons him. There's no way they could get to him. And that means that AKO City Squad only has 3 more guys to work with. You can see that Metrics and Blacklist International are making life incredibly hard for Hero, as they are both aiming at the members of Hero. Iman GG will not be able to make it into the safe zone safely. He's either going to die in the hands of Metrics, die by the hands of Metrics, or by the blue zone. And I think by the blue zone is certainly better, but still Troop was able to acquire 1 kill for himself. We're down to the final 3 teams.
Yeah, it looks like AKO are actually going to be planting themselves right in the middle of that final circle, Husky. Now, it's going to be down to them and whether or not they're going to be able to defend against Metrics and Blacklist, but what do you think so far? I mean, Blacklist have to come from that low ground, whereas Metrics are coming in from the top of the hill.
Yeah, we were looking at Blacklist trying to sneak their way in, but unfortunately their hit was exposed, and Mr. D is going to hold that angle. But of course, the other 2 members of AKO City Squad will need to hold back Metrics, and Metrics, this is their big round. This is their moment. If there's any round for Metrics to make a statement, to prove that they belong in the grand finals, is going to be this round. Ali helps them out by taking out Ajimbu. AKO State Squad should have some glue walls to work with and get Ajibu back up, but Mr. D will not survive, and Ali single-handedly dispatches AKO State Squad. 14 kills for Blacklist International, but they are going to play a 2 versus 4. Metrics have the numbers, but Blacklist International are no pushovers. This is not going to be easy for Metrics, but they are trying to overwhelm Blacklist International with sheer number. And look at that, Phoenix dropped down so many glue walls, but it is not going to matter too much. Mokka will spray him down. Ali is the last man alive. Those glue walls will only keep him alive for so long, and this is the round for Metrics. They found Phoenix. They will fight Ali, and Metrics gets a booyah. And in such a wondrous fashion, Metrics have effectively done it. The 12th place is certainly theirs.
Oh, easily. They managed to wrestle it from 2 very strong teams as well. But at the end of the day, their positioning, fantastic. They let Blacklist do a lot of the work on that low ground. They just said, okay, you guys can have AKO. We're going to be coming in later on. We'll finish the job. We'll come in as a full team. They did a great job. They rushed in. They just said, okay, Blacklist, we're not going to play the range game with you. Let's just fight them 4-on-2, and it worked out for them. I was thinking that Blacklist might have been able to actually defend against Metrics, because I was looking at Phoenix's inventory. He had like 12 glue walls on hand. He had, I think it was 8 grenades, and I was thinking like, okay, what are the chances that he throws down a load of glue walls and just starts lobbing these grenades? And I'm praying that one of them is actually going to try and hit one of these Metrics players, but it didn't happen. They just reached him too quickly.
Yeah, and I think he did try. We saw him put down like 3 consecutive glue walls, but Metrics just tore through that. Yeah, they just tore through that glue wall as if it was made of butter. So it was pretty unfortunate, but this was what set off the beginning of the end of the race to 12th place. And Dua Barade, of all the teams to run into, they run into Freedom Rumble. A hero was able to eliminate Freedom Rumble in a very odd sequence of event. But at the end of it, the remaining challenger was No Escape Umbrella, and they also met their end thanks to Blacklist International. And of course, Metrics had to rub some salt on the wound by getting the Booyah for this round. All in all, it is Metrics' second Booyah in the entire league stage, but it was more than enough to keep them to qualify for the grand finals.
Man, I wonder if Metrics sort of came into this game and they were thinking like, hey guys, we're going to try and grab a Booyah this round. Because I'm very sure their mindset was more or less along the lines of like, okay, we're going to try our best to try and get as many points as possible. I don't think grabbing a Booyah was the first thing on their mind.
Yeah, it probably went from, guys, let's just play for placements, to, guys, we can get a couple of kills, to, guys, I think we can get the Booyah. And they certainly did. But this was also the last chapter for No Escape Umbrella. Blacklist International just rode up to the compound and completely demolished them. And I believe they even ran over one of the guys from No Escape Umbrella. So it was a very brutal way to go. iPass did his best, but his back was turned and Ali had to be the one to end it for No Escape Umbrella. So Metrics even got a couple of pickoffs while all of that was happening. So all in all, it was a good day for Metrics, but we kind of saw this coming from a mile away, considering that they were in the lead for majority of the league stage.
Nah, absolutely not. Well, we've got one more game to go, Husky, but I think the top 12 teams are more or less secured. I don't think there's any team that's at risk of potentially losing their spot anymore, just because I don't think it's physically possible for anyone to get... Okay, how many points would it be? I think to be safe, you would need 40 points to take that 12th spot. And I don't think we've ever seen a team manage to get more than 36 points in one round, let alone over 40.
34-36 is like the ceiling, the current ceiling, and that was done by GeekFan. So chances are we are not going to see that record getting broken anytime soon.
No.
Blacklist International, they finished second, but they get 23 points thanks to an impressive 14 kills. Metrics, they got the Booyah, but they only got 6 kills. 18 points, nonetheless, is more than enough. Hero in 3rd place with 15. A-Kill Steady Squad in 4th place with 12. MND Diehard in 5th place with 8 points. And No Escape Umbrella only manages to get 6 points for themselves.
Yeah, and continuing down the leaderboard, Sorry Raw getting 5 points, same with Epic. Icon able to finish with 3 points. Freedom Rumble ending the day with, at least this round, with 2 points, similar to Todak and Dua Barade. They end with absolutely nothing. This is just not how you want to finish off the remaining second last game of the day. But we've got one more to go, and it's going to be on the wonderful, wonderful, bright blue Bermuda. Small map, lots of action coming your way. I wonder who's going to get the Booyah, because I don't think anybody was expecting Metrics of all teams to get a Booyah, right? Like normally it's your big dogs from Group A, but I mean, Metrics, they just sort of came out of nowhere this time.
Yeah, and they played the best round when it mattered the most. So I think this is certainly a big dub for Metrics. Going into the final round, the Booyah probably wouldn't matter too much. I don't see the standings changing too drastically. Maybe Icon, Epic, and Sorry Roar are still in the race in terms of, vying for extra prize pool, extra prize money by the end of the league stage, but it does have to come with a Booyah, and it will be quite a challenge considering that these 3 teams didn't really have the best round.
Yeah, so we have one more game for all of you wonderful viewers watching from home. It's going to be Bermuda for Groups A versus C to finish up our league stage. And following today, we're going to be prepping for the grand final, which Husky, I know you're going to be doing the grand final. I know you're very excited for that.
Yeah, super excited, right? And I will be joined by AJ as well. So this is, I think, since 2021 would be our 5th or 6 grand finals together. I'm super excited, and of course to crown a champion for Malaysia again, and to see the Old Kings back in the grand finals. There's certainly a lot to look forward to. Effectively, even before this last round starts, we already know our 12 finalists, but still the matches have to go on, or the match has to go on. So let's see who is going to put on the best possible show as a finale to close out the league stage. I certainly am looking forward to teams like Icon to step up their game. We've seen enough of Blacklist and Freedom Rumble. Just give us something a bit more unorthodox or uncommon.
I mean, I could agree with that. I think anyone as a viewer, for us as well, just seeing something very crazy, something cheesy, unorthodox, uncommon, it's going to be nice, especially for a way to sort of end the group, the league stage. I want to see some hot drops. Like, I want to see some really big fat hot drops to end the day. I just want to see some action, and I think Bermuda is the perfect map to do so, because you know you're going to run into teams anyway. The map's so small. I mean, why not just have the battle royale from the very beginning? I mean, I'd be happy if we just had a pan war between 2 teams.
Yeah, that would be great. The best way to end this round is Duo Veradict getting the booyah. They have not gotten a single booyah throughout the entire league stage. This certainly would be great. I mean, Epic, if it's Epic, I would not complain as well, because they are in 8th place. Last we saw the standings, but they haven't gotten a single booyah. So purely off of placement points and kill points, they were able to make it to
hot drops.
Are we seeing it? Oh, Metrix and Todak seems to be hot dropping.
Drops. I want more hot drops. Hot drops. Come on.
Oh,
Give
boy.
me hot drops.
Let's treat the sport 5.
Oh my god.
So we get Metrix and
Can
Todak.
you give me a wish, please? Hot drops.
Oh,
I don't get to see anymore.
We get Metrix and Todak. It's a good beginning. A good day to die. It's gonna be a 1-for-1 trade so far, and it's Todak losing out the fight. Todak does get 1 in return. Early nade being picked up and immediately utilized by the members of Metrix. These 2 teams are locked in combat around here. Let's see if Todak can win this. Because for Metrix, they are certainly on a new high. And on the other side of the map, we have AKO taking on Sorry Raw. So that's going to be interesting as well. It seems like your wish is coming true, Danny. We get 3 different hot drops. Freedom Rumble takes on Blacklist. What a action-packed final round.
I want to see these fights too, but we're sort of locked in here with Metrix going up against Todak. But can Metrix actually knock out Todak here? Mokka's actually gone down.
And Riven as well. Troop, last man standing. Not gonna happen. Metrix ends the last round as the number 1. So in first place, and ends the last round in last place. So
I mean, they end with a point. So
yeah.
technically they finished first because they got 1.
I struggle to
just
understand.
accept that. Hey,
Yeah,
they finished with 1 point. So technically they are number 1. Therefore, first.
Is your caffeine running out, Danny?
No, do you not understand what I'm trying to tell you?
No,
I'm wondering
I don't.
if your caffeine's actually run out. So they're finishing the day for their final match with a point, right?
Yeah.
Number 1. So therefore, number 1.
So they finished first.
Yes.
They get the day off. They are the first team to end the day.
I'm very sure they're celebrating right now. They're probably thinking like, hey guys, let's go have a drink.
I would. I think that's the best that they could hope for, right? I mean, guys, this is the end. You know, we're done for the day. Let's watch the rest of the broadcast, which is on, I believe, a 10-minute delay. So they will have to wait.
Oh, I didn't even know there was a delay.
So technically they ended the round, and if they log on to the broadcast right now, they'll have to wait a couple of more minutes to see themselves getting knocked out first by Todak as an icon.
Yeah.
Takes on
Oh
Freedom
my
Rumble.
gosh.
There's 3 members of Freedom Rumble getting knocked out. This is
That's it?
well,
Oh
there's
my
4 of them,
gosh.
and Icon gets that's a clean wipe.
Wow. I mean, you said, right? You wanted Icon maybe to maybe get a booyah. Yes, they probably got one they got a couple in the past, but it would be nice to sort of have a team that doesn't normally get booyahs to get one. Husky, did you jinx this game?
No, I did not. I call that
think you are.
precise prediction.
Oh, it's a precise prediction.
So far, so good. So far, I think so far everything is according to the prophecy.
The prophecy foretold. But we're already down to 10 teams, and so far, looks like we're going to be switching over to Hero's point of view as they're going to run into Sorry Raw. But I think Sorry Raw are done in the factory, so these two teams might just sort of avoid each other. But you know who's not going to avoid each other? Blacklist and No Escape.
Blacklist did lose Phoenix to Freedom Rumble early on. So No Escape Umbrella, they have the numbers advantage, and unfortunately for Blacklist, they are very far on the outskirts of Observatory, so they have to kind of run into No Escape Umbrella or risk skirting the edges of the cliff and getting picked off. So I think knowing Blacklist International, they'll probably take this fight on. We are seeing a very south-bounded circle. We might get a water circle to close off the lead stage, honestly. Two teams at Sentosa. This kind of is a reminiscent of what we saw yesterday as well, where one of the games ended at the southeastern side of the map. Maybe this is going to be another round there.
Oh, okay, I think Sorry Raw are going for a swim. Alright, we're going for a dip. I mean, it is a little bit hot here, right, Husky?
It certainly is. But we have seen, it's very rare, but some teams, they do go for this very long rotation, and the only thing that stops them from making it onto dry land is if they get shot, and most of the times they don't. So maybe Sorry Raw can make it. We certainly are seeing Icon taking the launch pad, and Epic, oh here we go, they show up, MND Diehard getting 2 in a row, and Epic might have bitten off more than they could chew, honestly. They didn't really know where MND Diehard were situated. Majority of the members are in the tower, but at least for Epic, they should be able to bag a kill or 2. Well, actually they could not. They bring Keppa back up. They do see Mouse, and they somehow got Atong as well, who are both in the open. So Epic actually can turn this around.
Can they turn it around though? It depends. It's up to Slayer really to really make these moves happen. Oh, can they get him?
Coco and Siga are patrolling around the base of the tower. They should be rushing up pretty soon. And Slayer is all alone. 3 members of MND Diehard already out and back in the lobby. And maybe Epic is gonna give them a one-way ticket out of this, out of their final round. I mean, MND Diehard, they didn't finish the league stage in many would regard as impressive standings, but for their debut, they should give themselves a pat on the back for being able to compete with the 18th best team. And yeah, Siga was able to take down. I'm surprised that Coco didn't break his leg or something.
I thought he was going to maybe take fatal damage because this tower is really tall.
Physics only in Free Fire. I love the physics.
Oh my gosh, Husky, look at how many teams there are here.
No Escape Umbrella, AKO Steady Squad, and Hero. It's a 3-way fight. And of course, Hero will make contact with AKO Steady Squad first. He will have Moon in the front line, and iPants already found Zero, the MVP of AKO Steady Squad, now on the ground and pleading for help as the rest of Hero slowly creeps towards the members of AKO Steady Squad. But I think they also saw the members of No Escape Umbrella, or at least AKO Steady Squad, was able to spot out a third party. And it's not going to be easy though. Area does down one and Phil's down rise out, and we finally get an official 3-way fight. Mr. D has his back turned, but with the help of Time Turner and a Zoo Wall, he will be able to buy some space for himself. But you can see he knows that there's nowhere to go, so he will lock himself inside that building. 2 members of No Escape Umbrella getting knocked down by the members by Ajimbu, I believe. iPants will be there to help both of his buddies back up on their feet. Biggest winners, I would say, is probably No Escape Umbrella. Hero also sustaining some damage as Ajimbu will take out Vanix right as he turns the corner. So Hero are not out of the water just yet, but No Escape Umbrella certainly can take their time.
Yeah, they can take their time, but what about AKO though? Because AKO are currently trying to barricade themselves in these compounds, but I don't know. I think this might just be the end of them, Husky.
Hero is also doing the same. So it's more of 2 of these teams trying to defend themselves against the horde of No Escape Umbrella. We get Icon also taking on Roberade off screen, and Mr. D, he is getting assaulted outside the mirror at the window. and Era will snipe him off. It's a good decoy from the member of No Escape Umbrella, and Vanix runs straight into the crosshair of Era, and he will pay for it. Iman, you can see that he wants to help out, and now that glue wall is a bit opposition, my friend. Your back is turned. Was able to get Vanix back up, and Dua Paradic gets eliminated. Oh, and a sick wallbang from Era. Down Vanix again, and the rest of No Escape Umbrella are going in for the kill. Iman, he is left all alone, hung out to dry as No Escape Umbrella finds 6 kills for themselves.
Oh man, and they could be looking for more kills as well because AKO, they still have that one player in the building. But do they want to even go in there to try and take this one little itty bitty kill?
Every point counts for No Escape Umbrella, despite that getting 40 points is out of the question. We don't even have enough players alive for 40 points. They will try to take out Arjimbu, and I think that's down one. That's going to be Bills. Arjimbu,
Hello?
okay. No Escape Umbrella. Oh no, you can't do this. And thank goodness.
Oh my gosh.
Thank goodness Bills was able to end it before Arjimbu wipes them out. That was a bit too close for comfort. But No Escape Umbrella escapes with the whole team alive. And you can see that No Escape Umbrella was... I think they saw the members of Epic passing by.
Yes.
And Epic forced to make a quick pit stop, but thankfully their vehicles are still pretty much in good condition, so they just rotate away, completely away from the fight, not wanting to be a part of this at all.
Hey, Icon's coming into the Frey Husky. It's not over yet. The action continues.
Could this be the big round for
Wait, what's the hashtag again? It was... Battle Rage is on! There we go.
Oh, Battle Rage is on, yeah.
I love that hashtag.
Yeah, every single league, the hashtag is just... the hashtag is actually awesome. Every single tournament gets more and more creative. I love it. Icon is gonna get a pick onto Error. That means that No Escape Umbrella will be left with 3 members. And Icon, they actually have 11 kills.
Dude, they're on fire. Icon are on fire. But the thing is, are they going to get stopped by No Escape? Because No Escape are also on fire this game, believe it or not. I mean, I guess you already know this, but I think No Escape might be able to end Icon's streak here.
Kaka stepped on his own landmine.
Oh my gosh.
Bill's gonna bring it back up. Mios will get the 12th kill, and she'll get knocked down by a vehicle explosion. But before we check in on that, we have to kind of witness the fate of No Escape Umbrella. They have nowhere else left to go, and oh, Kaz, come on. Step on his own landmine, blows himself up with the grenade launcher. What else do we have left in the bag? The Icons, they certainly aren't gonna let go of this opportunity. And imagine the distress that Bill is under. He's like, come on, man, you can't keep knocking yourself down. The blue zone is certainly making life a bit hard as Icon starts to evacuate from the building, but they're there to make sure that if they can't get out, No Escape Umbrellas will not be able to get out. And this is the second phase, so that blue zone will not really hurt too much. Icon knows that the 13th and 14th kill is within grasp. It's a matter of snuffing these 2 last members out.
Yeah, for now they're just going to chase that the new zone. And this is only the second one. Oh, but Yun actually getting punished. They will be able to get a counter knock there by Bills. They will kill Yun in the process as well. So Icon, in that one moment where they show mercy, I mean, No Escape, they bite the hand that feeds them.
And No Escape stays alive in this round. But this is going to be a long journey. Look at this. We don't even have a bridge to work with.
Husky, you've asked for this river circle and it's happening. I want to see this river circle on the other side. I want to see it on Sentosa. I think that would be such a big game changer if it was on the other side.
What a great way to end the final round. And most of these teams are, well, all of these teams are crippled. 1 member for Blacklist, 2 for Sorry Roar. The team with the most members is Epic with 3. It seems like they also found No Escape Umbrella passing by with a vehicle, but thankfully the vehicle is smoking, but not in... Well, it hasn't exploded
They're turning
yet.
around? Hang on.
Oh boy, they have to make a pit stop. That vehicle cannot survive anymore. And Icon, they will now try to go and finish off what they started. They certainly did not like it when Yun got taken out by No Escape Umbrella, and they hear the roar of the motorbike. Bills, he was the one who took out Yun, and he will pay in blood. Kaz is trying to weave around the terrain on that bike, but that smoke is like a fire signal, so Icon will just follow the trail of that black smoke. They do clean up Bills first. Icon with the 13 kill in the back, and somehow for Kaz, he was able to not only avoid Icon, but also avoid that one last member of Blacklist International, which is Cobra. But that also means that Cobra knows that someone is close by.
Yeah, and I want to know if Cobra actually wants to try and maybe backstab Icon, because he's all alone. It's going to be a very difficult ask for him alone to do it, but is he running into Icon? Really? Okay.
Running straight into them. Cobra, this is your time to shine. The Wonder Kid of Blacklist International, and he realizes it's a bit too much for him. No way, there's no way he's going to win that. Icon with 14 kills, and we have 5 teams left.
Look at him, they're starting to plant the flag. The confidence is there. But who is going to ruin this confidence? Because we still have 5 teams remaining, Husky. So Icon has 3 of the players alive. But who are the remaining teams? Because no Escape only had Kaz. Where is everyone else? Where is the competition?
I wonder if we get to see the radar though. I want to see where... Oh, look at this lovely circle. Pretty much 80%, well, 85% water. We still have some dry land to work with, and that's coincidentally where Epic is situated. I guess we will see people fighting and shooting each other on the surfboard. The Toadal is now coming under fire thanks to Epic, and Kaz, he is trapped. He has built a fortress for himself. As Mio cleans up Pedro, Man will go in for the finisher onto Kaz. There's 3 more kills for Icon. 17 in the back. Can they hit the magical 20? Maybe they can break the record that Geekfam has set for themselves, because this last circle is absolutely treacherous. Todak trying to take out Epic, and Chill is going to try and go in for the finisher. It's a 1 versus 1 fight. Chill coming in from the high ground. Has to go for the reload. Only 2 pumps left in his shotgun magazine. But boys will be able to back him up. Siga is no longer alive. Todak left with 2. Epic as that one guy in the water as this blue zone closes in. But if Mio sees that guy, he's going to be able to get the kill. He does see one figure running into the water and one running across towards the hut. And look at Kepa. He is...
Oh, I think... I don't... Okay,
Did they see him?
No, I think they don't. He's trying not to move, right? Because it's much easier to see moving targets. He's probably just... Oh,
never mind. They saw it. Epic out. And that's going to be, I think, kill number 18 for Icon. And now everyone has come into the water. Chill on his surfboard. It is time to make it happen. Chill with the first one onto Man. Mio's going to get some return fire in. Chill's not looking too hard. Todak, they sink. And it will be Icon that gets the final booyah of the league stage. Just as the prophecy foretold, they will finish off in style.
Do you think they got 20 kills at the end of that round? I think they were on 17 when we were looking through their perspective.
I think they did.
I think it's 19. I feel like they just ended like 1 point shy. Look at him.
And of course, we see a familiar face in the back. Of course, it's one of our friends, our resident caster, Mr. Kokai. Certainly proud of his boys, you know. It's not a first, well, in terms of standings, it does make a difference. They probably were able to move up a bit, but what a way to cap off the league stage. Even though they were not the kings on leaderboard, but they certainly, you know, were able to end it on a high note.
I mean, they ended it like kings. I think that's definitely something that happened for Icon for that round. But let's just take a look at our recap for our final game of the league stage before we consider looking at the grand final. Because today, ladies and gentlemen, we have finalized our top 12 teams who will be competing in that grand final for the ultimate prize of 45,000 ringgit. There's a lot of money on the line and also a lot of pride. But Husky, I think we had a fantastic season. I just felt like the games as they were played, it just got better and better.
Yeah, I just love the fact that every single season the competition gets even more intense. And sure, there will always be some teams that have to tank the spot at the bottom of the leaderboard. But overall, the quality of the league stage has considerably improved. Even teams in the first place, they don't set, you know, crazy records like 500-600 points, right? Geekfam only got a 400 and 66 points if I'm not mistaken, and sure, it is still a good achievement, but you can see that there are teams who are willing to fight tooth and nail and who can go toe-to-toe with the best squads available. And in this league, GeekFam, Told Up, Blacklist, these guys are still the best that Malaysia could offer, but a lot of teams debuted their first tournament run and they were able to put up impressive performances as well.
Absolutely, and I think if anything, just looking at the way the Icon finished the tournament with such a amazing score, and I think this is, I'm not sure if you agree, but is this the most aggressive we've seen Icon? Because I don't think we've ever seen this team this bloodthirsty.
I think this is probably one of their most active rounds, and when you are playing, when you decided that this is the round that you want to let loose, you want to play freely, I think Icon completely demonstrated that. 31 kills, or 31 points, 19 kills and a booyah. They haven't broken the record set by GeekFam, but they certainly came in second with this accumulation of points. Toad Up in second place only got 16. No Escape Umbrella got 15. Epic in fourth place with 12 points. AKO Steady Squad in fifth place, and alongside Sorry Roar also tied for fifth with 6 points each.
And as we go down the brackets, Blacklist International unfortunately not finishing very high with only 5 points. They finished in 7th. 8th is Hero with 4 points. 9th we have MND Diehard with 2 points. In 10th we have Dua Baratic with 2 points. 11th Freedom Rumble, and 12th Metrics. Both teams ending the tournament run with a single point. But hey, it might look disappointing for Metrics. They already did their jobs and they already gave us a heck of a start. I think they're very happy with how they did.
And I think the 4 rounds that Metrics played yesterday would be in the minds of a lot of people for a very long time, especially if you are a fan or a player from Duo Barade, right? Getting hunted down by Metrics. It felt like, Metrics had that plan out all along, but other than that, Metrics did have a pretty mediocre tournament run. But at the end of the day, if you qualify, that's all that matters, right?
They
the Grand
made
Finals,
it.
They made it. The Grand Finals is a full reset for these boys.
So I'm looking forward to seeing what's going to happen on Grand Final Day, because that is where everything is on the line. The money, your pride, if anything, you can even say fame, right? Because especially if you compete and do very well in these tournaments, you're going to make a name for yourselves. And if I'm not mistaken, there's still a number of teams here that are not fully sponsored. So especially for a team that hasn't really got a sponsor to back them up and be that brick wall to support them as they continue to play esports, being able to do well or even just take the crown of Challengers Malaysia, it would be such a big thing for those teams, at least the players, because they'll be able to fully commit to esports.
Yeah, and I remember the first Free Fire League we did together was MCP Season 1 last year. And at that point of time, there was only one big organization, and that was GeekFam, right? Blacklist International came into the picture towards the Grand Finals. They picked up Baby Argon. So it's also great to see all these organizations join in. Toda being the latest to acquire a team, which was Argon MY. Let's take a look at the map recap for the final day of the league stage. GeekFam started the night off with a booyah. Toda got the second. Team Princess made Group B proud by taking 2 consecutive booyahs in round 3 and 4. Round 5 went over to Metrics, and of course Icon Esports ended the league stage with a impressive 31 points.
Oh, these games today, they were so good. If you weren't able to catch them, we do recommend you go back and watch all of the VODs. We had some fantastic games, and I think even just the opening 2 games, very competitive. But the overall standings, I think this is what everyone has been looking forward to. I know I am. Let's take a look very quickly to see our top 12 teams. Husky, throw it away with GeekFam.
Yep. In first place, the era of GeekFam has been revived in the league stage. 466 points. The closest team that comes in second is Toad Up with the same number of booyahs, but of course in terms of kill points and placements, they fall behind. 406 points for them though, only being the only 2 teams to break through that 400 mark. Team Princess with their debut, finishes third with 331, followed by Blackness International in 4th place with 319, Freedom Rumble in 5th place with 315 points, Icon makes it to 6th place with 296, Secret Expert in 7th place with 284, Epic in 8th place with 265, and AKO Steady Squad, welcome to the first page of the leaderboard. They are in 9th place with 255.
Now, of course, we do need to take a look at the remaining teams that have qualified. In 10th place, we have Sorry Raw ending the day with 251 points. 11th, we have EWG with 232 points. And our final team to qualify for the grand final is Metrics, ending the league run with 227 points. But from this point on, unfortunately, we are going to have to say goodbye to No Escape Umbrella, Dua Baratic, New Gang, Devara, Hero, and MND Diehard. These teams, they competed, they played their hearts out all league long, but unfortunately, they just weren't able to crack that top 12. But we are looking forward to seeing these guys play again because considering this is season 1, clearly there's going to be a Challengers season 2.
Yeah, and I think the most impressive part is that even if we look at the bottom of the standings, the overall competitiveness has been elevated by all of these teams. Previously, the race to 12th place, the bar to get to 12th place is like 150 or 160 points. Now it has been raised to more than 200 points. And even at the very bottom, we get Hero and MND Diehard both boasting 129 points. Sure, if you look at the overall picture, they are considered the worst team in the league stage. But hey, they are top 18 teams of Malaysia, and that says a lot about these guys.
Absolutely, but oh my gosh, Husky, I can't believe we've just finished the end of the league stage. Grand Finals is almost upon us, but we also need to congratulate somebody else. Our MVP for our 5th and 6th maps of Day 8 is none other than Mios from Icon with 9 kills, 4 assists, 3,521 damage, and wait for it, 91.9% hit rate.
This guy almost did not miss a single shot. And who else?
Who is this guy?
This
so
guy,
that's why
right?
she'd be asking, right? Like, who is this guy? So good.
No one else deserves the MVP title more than Mios in this case. The star player of Icon showing up big time through in the final round. Of course, with that hit rate, you cannot argue any way else that there's someone that deserves the Hall of Fame spotlight more than him. Of course, he is going to be our last MVP for the group stage, but he has certainly etched his name in the history books of FFCM for Season 1.
Well, that's going to be it for the league stage, Husky. I can't believe we are basically done with the league because that means the grand finals is happening really soon. Now, because you are going to be covering the grand finals with AJ, when should people be ready for grand finals?
It's coming up pretty soon. So previously, for all competitive tournaments, we have a 1 week break in between. But for this one, it's a bit special. It is happening next Saturday. So these teams have less than 1 week to prepare their strat books before they have to duke it out in a nail-biting grand finals. And this grand finals also is a bit more special. I believe we have 7 maps. I'm still not really sure of that. I remember there's something of that. So if I'm wrong, please do not fire me. But what I can confirm is it will be an interesting grand finals. Obviously, we still have the heavy hitters. You have Geek Fam, Blacklist International, Todak, Team Princess is now on the radar as well. These guys definitely will go for the crown. And it's not just for fame and glory, it's also for a whopping 45,000 ringgit in terms of prize pool if they hit first place. So it's a lot to look forward to.
Well, thank you so much for casting with me, Husky. It's been an absolute pleasure having you join me.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I mean, it's always a pleasure to be able to work with you and to be able to witness such great Free Fire, right? I cannot believe it has been more than a year since we started on this Free Fire journey together, from MCP to FFMC to FFAC and now FFCM. There's certainly a lot more to come, and I just cannot wait to see what these teams are going to bring to the table. We covered a lot of Malaysian teams. We've seen some Philippine teams as well, and I think, I'm looking forward to the grand finals, and afterwards MCP again. There's just so much coming up. But there's also one more thing that I'm looking forward to, and it is going to be Chinese New Year, because it is starting pretty soon. I'm going back home tomorrow. So before we close out the broadcast, I want to wish everyone out there who is celebrating Chinese New Year Happy Chinese New Year! And it's also a good time, just in time for us to wrap up the show. Again, thank you very much for being with me. Grand Final starts next Saturday, same time at 8 p.m. 12 teams, 12 teams, 7 rounds, and 45,000 ringgit for first place. Do tune in. You don't want to miss it. Happy Chinese New Year on behalf of everyone else. Of course, I'm Husky. She's Danielle. Good night. Goodbye.
The battle rages on. King manages to get one tetapi tolak satu markah Ijan.
Dia tangkap bola
Tangkap
air.
bola putih.
Lima. Oh, dapatnya Akik on fire.
Absolutely.
Oh.
Akik on fire. Tetapi terkena juga air.
Yang terkena juga ayah. Elok tu handsome sikit. So kita akan tambah mata mereka 5 lagi.
Alright.
Menjadikan 29. Mr. Wega, adakah anda dah bersedia?
Woo!
Wow. 1, 2, 3.
What is he doing?
He's beginning to believe.
I know Kung Fu. Show me. My mind is blown, Haji. Macam mana?
Same with me here. My mind so blown here sini.
King of airdrops, Mr.
Ada
Wega.
lagi 9.
Oh my lord, ada lagi.
9 mata menjadikan 25. 9 balon yang berjaya diperoleh oleh Mr. Wega kita untuk round yang kedua ini.
Mr. Wega, do you have a few words to say, Mr. What
Yeah.
words of a champion? I couldn't have said it better myself, man. Oh my lord. Pusingan yang ketiga dengan double danger in terms of our Roda Musibah. Kali ini kita ada ijat daripada Blacklist International. Dipersilakan. Roda Musibah, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Let's go.
Yeah.
Musibah besar, musibah besar, musibah besar,
Oh,
musibah
besar.
musibah yang paling besar dan juga paling comel, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, adalah distraction oleh the one and only Mr. Wega.
Yes, betul tu.